Good morning, friends. Hope everybody's doing good today. Doesn't look like we have very many in here yet, but I set this up with just a few minutes warning. I started feeling pretty good and decided to go live. Hey, Miss Hi-Fi. Oh, awesome. Everybody usually does not get notifications. That's a common issue, but today looks like people are getting them. Hey, Mothership Explorers. Good to see you, Lulu. Z Raven Girl, thanks for popping in here. Yeah, you were by yourself for a minute, Amos, but we got a few more in. Hey, Joe King Rogue and Pippadot. Art is life. Good to see you. Awesome, awesome. Glad you all were able to pop in. Let me share the screen real quick. I believe we got through May 7th or 8th. There we go. Hell yeah, Raven Girl. Coffee time. I'm on my second cup, so hopefully I'll, have my wits together a little better today. Hey, Reverend Elizabeth, good to see you. It has been a while, artist life. All right, I got my coffee down, and we are starting with the 8th. Not a lot of text on the 8th. It seems like Dom has kind of given up on trying to maintain any space and is just going along with whatever. So some days there's not as many texts as what we're used to. All right. So on the 8th at 3:06 a.m., Mackenzie says, "Good night, BB." And then 11, she says, "Babe, let's hang when you up." Dom says at almost 12, "You can come, but you got to smell my armpit." What the hell? Oh, well, that's a change. Usually he tells her that he's pooping. Okay. And Mackenzie says, she doesn't even reply to that. She says, "I need to get ready real quick and then I'm going to come." Dom says, "Don't come yet." Mackenzie says, "Okay, what time?" Dom says, "You can come over." Mackenzie says, "Okay, I'm coming now." And he says, "Look for meat thermometer." Mackenzie says, "Where would it be?" Dom says, "Drawers, or like where we put shit to dry, on top of dishwasher mag." Maybe. Mackenzie said, "It's not in the drying spot or dishwasher." Sorry, I hiccuped. "What drawer would it be in?" Dom says, "The top drawer, or the one with the spatulas, Kinsey." Oh, wait. The top drawer, the one with the spatulas, that was their last text on the 8th. And then they go to the 9th. And the first text from Dom in the 9th is 7:21 a.m. He just texts Kenzie. A little bit later, she says, "Hi, babe." He says, "Black or white?" Mackenzie says, "White. You wear more white than black. Are you getting those right now?" Dom says, "That's what I was thinking. I want a new bag too. What should I get?" Mackenzie says, "What type of bag? Like a backpack?" Dom says, "Yeah, or a messenger bag." Mackenzie says, "Send me a website and I'll go through and pick one for you." Dom says, "Use any website." And Mackenzie says, "Like any designer, LOL, tell me a price." Dom says, "Under 700, under 100, and then he says 1,000. Mackenzie said, "I thought Prada would have cute ones. They low-key girly bags and they over 1K. Dom says, "MCM has sales." Mackenzie says, "I'll go look there. That one is so cute. Or this one, but it's over 1K. Dom says, "MCM.com, silly." Mackenzie says, "I looked there. I didn't like them. That link is bringing me to a website called Melon, LMFAO, like WTF. Dom says, "I don't know." Mackenzie says, "That's cute too." Dom says, "It's a messenger bag. Like, does it have a long strap?" Mackenzie says, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure." Dom says, "And how much is it?" Mackenzie says, "Let me check." Dom says, "Also, I want a belt. I want a belt and a slide, maybe a new bag." Mackenzie says, "Get you a Fendi belt. You would look so." Dom says, "The bag you show me, I think, would be a little too big." Mackenzie says, "Oh, yeah, it is. That's like a whole computer bag. I'm looking at belts for you now." Dom says, "Yeah, find a belt. I think I'm just cop slides and a belt." Mackenzie says, "Okay, found some." Dom says, "Those are the ones I always wanted, but the sizing is weird." Mackenzie says, "What you mean by that? Why isn't the sizing normal?" Dom says, "It has 5 holes and a different type of buckle. Like I never know what size to get with that site." Mackenzie says, "What if you just get the size you think you are, and if it's wrong, you can return it? Let me look something up." Dom says, that length of belt is in inches and not waist size. Oh, some size tells you how long each part is. Mackenzie says, look up Fendi belt sizing. There's a ton of pics. Dom says, you try. Mackenzie says, I don't know what the right one is. I just looked it up. Dom says, I'm a 31. Mackenzie says, okay. Dom says, 30, 31, probably. Mackenzie says, I'm so confused right now. The red belt says 51.2 inches, but where do you pick your size? Dom says, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Mackenzie says, just get the belt, and if it doesn't fit, return. You have 14 days to return before you can't anymore. Dom says, maybe, but shipping is ass. Mackenzie says, is it dollars or just takes a long time? Dom says, long time, because it's probably not essential, and then I'd have to ship it back. Mackenzie says, yeah, true, low-key a pain. What you doing today? Dom says, I don't know, I'm just chilling right now. Dom says, want to hang again today? Mackenzie says, maybe, depends on what I'm trying to do, but yeah, let me work out, shower, and get shit done. Mackenzie says, okay, bet. Babe, let's watch the sunset tonight at Maple Slide. Okay, we have to be hanging out by 7. Sunset's around 8, so I want to be with you before. Dom says, I might be done with my shit soon. Mackenzie says, bet. Dom says, it's cold today. Let's just do Maple Slide a different day because my tires are fucked up too. Mackenzie says, okay, can we still hang soon? Questions? Dom says, let's just hang a little later. I'm still doing shit and haven't showered. Oh, good Lord. Mackenzie says, gay. Okay. I wanted to go, but it's cool. Just make it up to me right now. What you doing now? The sun about to go set if you still want to go. Dom says, let's go. It's a nice day. I want to get food and maybe I want to get food soon. Maybe I can pick you up. Mackenzie says, can you soon? I'm really bored. Dom says, I'll try. Mackenzie says, or can you just come now? I really want to hang. Dom says, I'll come soon. Big moves. Mackenzie says, okay. Dom says, what food should I get? Mackenzie says, I don't know. I ate and everything sounds gross. LOL. Dom says, damn. Mackenzie says, just get food real quick, then come get me. LOL. Dom says, okay. Mackenzie says, please try to come fast though. Now? Dom says, I'm at Chick-fil at. Mackenzie says, can you scoop me when you on the way home? Dom says, can I got hang out with Angelo, Ashish, and Trev? Dom says, Trev's parents aren't home. Mackenzie says, so? Dom says, so we all trying to kick it there, drink a little and blaze. Mackenzie says, if I say yes, can you let me hang early tomorrow? And if you drink, be careful. Dom says, I'll probably go anyway if you said no, to be honest, LMAO. Mackenzie says, yeah, I know. Thanks for letting me know. Now, can I come over tomorrow? Dom says, I'm just being. Mackenzie says, I don't really care. Can I come over early tomorrow? Dom says, I have too big thing to do, then yeah. Mackenzie says, I'm just low-key annoyed because I thought we were eat chi. Oh my God, the sunset. Then you said, let's do it another day. Now we can't even hang, but it's whatever. Like 2 big things tomorrow before we can hang. Can you just talk on the phone real quick? Dom, LMFAO, guess what I just did? Dom says, what? Mackenzie says, there's a thing where you can send someone an anonymous text that says a sexual partner you had tested positive for an STD, and I just put Jada's number in it. Want to see the text you get? I'll send you one. Dom says, LOL. Mackenzie says, great reply. Dom says, what you mean? Mackenzie says, that was so dry, LMAO. I just said hella. I said hella and you just said LOL. I thought you would think it was funny. What's up now? Damn, that's rough. She said that to one of her friends. And that is the end of text on the 9th. They continue texting through the night, it looks like. So we'll start on the 10th, but let me go check comments real quick. Oh, thank you so much, Artist Life. I appreciate that. Hey, Ruth, good to see you. Looks like she is listening to Mothership. Yeah, Mothership has, an opposite, not totally opposite, but a different perspective on Kinsey than I do. So it's really good, in my opinion, to get all those rounded out perspectives if you're still kind of unsure about the case, Had to get a drink of my coffee, friends. I agree, Z Raven Girl. That was really screwed up, in my opinion. Pippadot in here. Sour Candy says, does anyone know if 1980 has posted any emails between Gypsy and Dan? I was trying to find it on her page, but didn't see any. No, in the prison email, sorry, I'm having trouble talking. I'm trying to say 2 words at the same time and screwing up. In the prison email file, we didn't find any that appeared to be from her and Dan. She talked about Dan with other people a few times, but I've never found any communications between her and Dan. In the FOIA files with Facebook communications, if there was communication between her and Dan, she deleted it before the murder or before getting arrested or something. Thank you again, Art is Life. Appreciate that. Oh, hey, we got 1970 in the house. I never know for sure if he's going to be able to pop in because he's at work, so he might be able to listen or he might be busy. You're welcome, Sour Candy. No problem. Ooh, that's going to be interesting. Lulu interviewed Landon last night. Landon was Bubba on Crash. Is that correct? I want to make sure I'm remembering right here, but yeah, if that's correct, that's going to be so interesting when Lulu puts that out. Yeah, we all call her Lulu, but her actual channel name is Mothership Explorers. She says, yes, that is Bubba. Awesome. Yeah, I've missed having you in here, Art. Art is awesome. Art won one of my book giveaways. I need to get back on the book giveaway lives. I was so sick for so dang long after we traveled that I kind of got behind on everything, and I'm just now starting to feel good again. But yeah, I do book giveaway lives here and there, and Art won one, and I sent it to Art, and I left off a number, and it come all the way back to me from Scotland, so I've got to resend it. Amos Hi-Fi says, Big Bubba. You have to say Bubba like AG Tactical says it. Bubba. I don't think I've heard him say Bubba. He cracks me up whenever he's making fun of Natalie Sherrill. It's like, oh, no. Thank you, Art. Appreciate that. Okay, so let me switch back to the messages now that I've caught up with chat. I appreciate all you being in here. We are on the 10th now. Get a drink of coffee. Okay, so on the 10th, right after midnight, Mackenzie says, what's up now? Dom says, we still at Trev's. I'm on 1. My phone might die. Mackenzie says, charge it, Bab. Text when you up. And Dom says, I'm up, babe, at about 11. Mackenzie says, how was last night, baby? And we can still hang after you do the 2 things, right? Dom says, it's Mother's Day. Mackenzie says, I know, so we can't hang now? Dom says, we can. He says, so we are still hanging. I'm sorry, Mackenzie says, so we are still hanging after you do those 2 things. Dom says, yeah. Mackenzie says, okay, yay. Dom says, what should I eat? Mackenzie says, like breakfast food, French toast, maybe. Dom says, I'm just going to make a bagel. Mackenzie says, LMAO, okay, Bab. I didn't know there was a bagel emoji. Dom says, LMAO. Mackenzie says, are you going to get stuff done soon? Dom says, yeah. Your dad is really good with art. So would he be able to help? Would he be able to graphic designing? Sometimes whenever they leave out words and do chat speak, like my brain wants to add them in and then I get confused while I'm reading. Oh, Mothership, that is so sweet. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. She says Bubba is a super nice guy. Awesome. I can't wait to see it. Art says, I've been ill too, so that's why I've not been on much to catch you. I hope you're feeling better, Art. We have all had a rough time lately. Really rough time. Oh, I just remember Pippadot is in here. Pippadot, I haven't gotten an email from you yet. But I did get one from Kathleen. There was a deal in the comments yesterday that they needed me to exchange their info for them. So I just wanted to let Pippadot know that real quick. Really appreciate that, Mothership. That was super sweet. Super sweet. Yeah, Pippadot, just wanted to make sure that, if you sent me an email, I don't see it. There might be a letter off or something. Okay. So I wonder what, maybe this is when Dom is starting the clothing company that they were talking about. Because he says he needs her dad to do some graphic designing. Oh, no, no, no. This is different. Okay. Mackenzie says he worked at Channel 3 as the graphic designer. He can do that. Dom says, yeah, I think I remember you telling me that. Yeah, so I'm going to try and get a license to open a vape shop. And if I need any graphic designing, I'll pay him to do it. Mackenzie says, OMG, that's dope AF. A good idea, too. What do you have to do to get a license? Dom says, I don't know, for real. I'm going to have my mom do it since she's a lawyer. But after that, I just need to spot a lease and then I'm going to start getting the products in. Dom says, I know you're going to be really good at that because you already low key own your own business. LOL, I can just work at your vape shop too. Dom says, you can work at OnlyFans. Oh my God. Huh. So Dom had a plan to open a vape shop. Mackenzie says, you already low key own your own business. I assume she's talking about his dealing, the drops and stuff. Hmm. 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 Oh no, that's interesting. Anyway, yeah, Dom told her she could work at OnlyFans. Mackenzie says, what is fans? Wait, inward. Are you telling me to make it OnlyFans? What is that? Are you going to be done soon? Uh, that was weird. Maybe they got on the phone or something because there's quite a bit of time, about an hour, between her saying, are you telling me to make it OnlyFans? And then saying, what is that? Are you going to be done soon? But anyway, Dom says, yeah, I had to do something extra. And Mackenzie says, okay, are you scooping or do you want me to get a ride? Question. Dom says, you can get a ride when I'm home. Mackenzie says, you said soon, and it's been more than soon. When you gonna be home? Questions. You left on red, babe. Dom says, I'm about to be home. I don't like when you do this. Mackenzie says, do what? I'm not spamming you. I'm being chilly F. Are you home? Dom says, yeah, you can come. Mackenzie says, okay, bet. I'm on my way. Where you at, BB? Dom says, coming. Mackenzie says, okay, where are you? LOL, I can just come to you. I want to do something. I'm really bored. I'm confused because it sounds like she went to his house. I think they're doing the thing where Dom let her come, but he's pissed off about it. And so they're in separate rooms. That's what I'm getting. Because, yeah, Mackenzie says, where are you? LOL, I can just come to you. I want to do something. I'm really bored. Dom says, I'm super mad. Mackenzie says, oh, why? Sad face. Where you go, though? Did I do something? Dom says, no, I'm just mad. Mackenzie says, can you come back in here after you eat? I'm really bored. Dom, where are you? Dom, I'm low-key getting annoyed. Dom says, yeah, I've been mad. Mackenzie says, I don't know why you do this shit to me. I've been asking you to smoke for like 5 hours. Why do you have to make me think this is my fault? Dom says, it's not my fault and it pisses me off more because I'm just toxic as F. Just leave me alone. It's not your fault. And just now, I'm way more mad. So good luck. Thanks for trying to make me not mad for your amusement. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, friends. Mackenzie's crazy, but Dom really confuses me at times too. I really do think he has mental illness, like he was saying that he did. He told her that, he does have a mental problem. I think he said he was bipolar. I don't know if that's diagnosed or self diagnosed, but I think he might have been right, friends. Oh, thank you, Mothership. That's sweet. Yeah, check and make sure that the spelling is right. Because, like I was saying yesterday, I know I spell millennial weird with one N, and most people spell it with two N's because Google lied to me. It said it could be spelled both ways, but one way is accepted and the other is not. Thank you so much, Artist Life. I appreciate that. Congrats to anyone who got a membership. I've been posting lots of different art things in my membership section. I never really put true crime stuff in there, just kind of like daily vlogs, me messing around, the flowers, the cats. Hey, Toddy, good to see you. All right, let me switch back over here. But yeah, it's really confusing. Dom says, I'm way more mad. So good looks. Thanks for trying to make me not mad for your amusement. I don't really know what exactly he's trying to say there. Mackenzie goes off. She says, why the F are you looking at it like that? For my amusement, I mean, yeah, when I come to your house, I expect to hang with you and not be in the other room. Okay, so it is what I thought. They are in the same house and in separate rooms. She says, "Why are you trying to make this an argument? Like, we could easily just smoke and blunt and chill right now, and you would probably be in a better mood. You just told me this isn't my fault. Then you say that. Like, it makes no sense." Dom says, "I'm just getting more annoyed." Mackenzie says, "This isn't fair to me. You can't just take your anger out on me. Like, at least let me hit the blunt too." And there we're back to the weed and the dabs. She wants so bad to always have access to his product that I think that is part of her obsession with him, honestly. I wonder every time we read some more of these and she starts going off on him about their time, and then she'll be like, "And I need dabs and I need to smoke and blah, blah, blah." I always wonder if she could have found another guy who had access to as much as Dom did to deal, if Dom would still be alive. Anyway, Dom says, "The shell has a crack through it. And no, I didn't at all. I stayed alone till you bothered me." Mackenzie says, "You did when I came to see what's up. That's not bothering. I can bring you more woods if you want. So are you rolling a blunt? Yes or no?" Dom says, "The shell has a crack through it. So not right now." What is he talking about with the shell has a crack through it? I don't quite get that. Thank you, Artist Life. I appreciate that. Ruth Carroll says he does come here, then go away routine. He really does. Yeah, yeah. Which, for a person like Mackenzie, triggers her to greater craziness all the time. Like it really is toxic both ways. Oh, awesome. Amos Hi-Fi got a membership. Yay. I don't know what he's talking about though with the shell as a crack through it. So then Mackenzie replies, "So can I take a dab? Do you think I'll be not high anymore before you roll up? Never mind. I honestly might just leave because this is giving me anxiety. Do you think you're going to be cool soon? Because I'm not trying to wait for you to not be mad for much longer." Dom says, "If you go home, just let me know or leave a pack of backwoods outside Angelo's door." Mackenzie says, "I can bring you woods right now, if that will help you not be mad anymore, because I'm trying to hang. I've been alone in here for way too long. Dom, answer." Oh my God. Tom says, "Yeah, set a pack outside the door, dark stout or Russian." I don't like to feel sorry for Mackenzie, but like, because she's pushes him into everything when he to get tries to get space. She just badgers and badgers and badgers him to a point where it reads as extremely abusive. But at the same time, when he does let her come over, like he'll separate her off into another room, and like that would make anybody mad. Oh, anyway. Oh, Stacy the OG. That, yeah, the wrapping paper is called a shell. Um, sorry, let me get a drink of coffee, friends. Okay, I should have thought about that, but I always buy the exact same brand of backwoods because, like I told y'all, I use those to roll. I like the flavor of a tobacco leaf with the weed. It's good, but if when you buy backwoods, if they're too dry, like if it's an old pack that's been on the shelf for a while and they've dried out, it's hard to unroll them without them cracking and dump out the tobacco to put your weed in. Like they need to be pliable and not dried out. So I didn't think about it being called a shell, but that makes complete sense now. Thank you, Stacy. Pippadot says, "So back and forth, very toxic." Yeah, extreme. Okay. But yeah, it's funny to me that he's just making her sit a pack outside the door. Like, what on earth? Mackenzie says, "Okay, I'll just bring both just in case, but can we hang soon? Like, it's about to be 9 and I've been waiting for so long. Like, this is upsetting me." Dom says, "Set the pack outside the door. It don't matter which ones." Mackenzie says, "Can we hang soon?" Dom says, "Maybe." Within the same minute, Mackenzie says, "I just seen Audrey on my For You page on TikTok and now I'm mad low key." Mackenzie says, "I hate seeing her ugly ass face so much. Like seeing her just makes me in such a bad mood." And then she says, and can you say yes or no? Because if we're not hanging by 9, I'm probably going to leave because I've been waiting for too long. Dom says, probably leave then. Mackenzie says, WTF. I know I just didn't just wait 6 for you to say probably just leave. How are you even mad still? Like nothing has happened. This shit makes me so upset. Like this isn't fair. Dom says, how is Topher always sad? I don't know, but it isn't fair. Now, if I remember right, Topher has autism or something like that. I can't remember, but it's a mental health issue. And Dom's, like I said, he has told her before that he's bipolar and he's trying to make the comparison to her that, he's saying, I can't help how my brain is, basically, which does make sense. But yeah, there's just so much toxicity going on here. Hey, Rainbow Ribbons, you're not too late. We've been going for 26 minutes. No big deal. Glad to have you in here. Hey, Dorothy Berg, good to see you. Happy you made it in. Okay, let me get a drink of coffee and we'll go back to the messages. Okay. Mackenzie doesn't get the comparison at all. She says, I'm talking about me and you, not Toph. Stop being effing mad and just hang with me. Like 2 hours of my day were wasted by sitting in your room waiting. Just let me effing come in Angela's room or you come in here. Like I've been being so chill with everything and then you get mad and don't hang with me when I'm already at your house. Like I can't even just come into Angelo's or are you going to tell me you're more mad because I bothered you? Like this shit isn't cool. Okay, Dom, I swear to God, if you smoke that wood without me, it is time to hang now. I have now waited 3 hours. Dom says, I don't want to hang. Mackenzie says, 3 effing hours, inward. Dom says, it has not been 3 hours. Mackenzie says, 6 to 9, 6, 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9. That's 3 hours. Scroll up to when I first asked where you at. Like, I swear you only doing this thing with me. If Angelo and Shmish came in there, you would be all hype and happy. I did nothing to you. Look, you're at D for real. This isn't cool at all. Dom says, no, I would leave, and you're being mean. Mackenzie says, I mean, what? You have been being such a D for 3 hours. You being mad is not my fault. What the F is wrong with you? Ooh, there you go. If you can't hang with any of the other people here and be nice to them, we gonna have an issue. Oh, she says, if you hang with any of the other people here and be nice to them, we gonna have an issue. You can't just be mean to me and then nice to everyone else. Inward. Dom says, what? Mackenzie says, what? You mean what? And she's in all caps mode now. She says, you have been being such an asshole for 3 hours when I've done nothing but be nice. Like, how can you just do this? It's effed up. Dom says, do you think I want to? Mackenzie says, I come in to check on you. Then you say I'm bothering you. If you don't want to, then effing don't. Like, you don't know how effing mad I am. My day is wasted. Dom says, okay, then leave. Mackenzie says, I wanted to watch the effing sunset with you, but you keep saying shit about your tire. Like the tire isn't an issue when you do sales all day. Why is it an issue when I want to go to the beach with you or Boone or anything? Like I'm effing shaking. I literally left you alone too. Like WTF. How am I supposed to make you not mad like I leave you alone and you're still a D? I left you alone for 3 hours. Dom says, leave me alone. Mackenzie says, like, I'm in your room. No, inward. Dom says, till I'm not mad, and then I won't be mad anymore. Mackenzie says, clearly leaving alone doesn't work because I left you alone for 3 hours and you're still mad. How long is it going to take? 4 effing days? Like, I shouldn't be upset over someone treating me like this when it's not even my fault. I bring you wood and you're still a D. Like, why can't we be having fun? I wanted to have fun today because you bailed on me last night for the boys, but I guess not. Dom says, because now you're being mean. Mackenzie says, I don't care anymore. You made me wait for 3 hours for nothing, for nothing. Like, what's the effing point? You're mad for no reason, and you taking it out on me. None of this shit is my fault. None. I'm coming in Angelo's. Where the F are you? Dom says, I got picked up. Mackenzie says, fuck you, really? Dom says, no, I'm JK. I went on a walk. Mackenzie says, you are such a effing D. You really left. Dom says, I'm by Blair's house. Mackenzie says, no, it's not funny. WTF. Dom says, why? Mackenzie says, N-word, why? I'm going to come effing find you. Dom says, I can't go on a walk. Dom says, or Mackenzie says, ho AB that. We could have went together. Dom says, no, I'll just go further. Mackenzie says, that would have been fun, but you only think about you, ever. Dom says, well, I'm mad, so I can't. Mackenzie says, I'm going to walk to Blair's. Where the F are you? I'm for real, come. Dom says, no, I don't want to draw with this now. I think he meant deal with this now. Mackenzie says, too bad. This is what happens when you're a D. Answer, now. Now you want to play hide and seek? I am bust. I'm by Blair's. Dom says, I'm not at Blair's. It's cold. Just walk home. Mackenzie says, so if I knock on his door right now, you won't be there? Dom says, swear to God, I'm not there, LMAO. Mackenzie says, I don't believe you. Yeah, I'm cold as F and you're being such a D. Dom says, swear to God. Mackenzie says, no, my socks are all wet and shit. Dom says, you should have just stayed there. I don't know why you left. Mackenzie says, to find you because you're being effing D. Like you only play these annoying ass games with me, I swear. I bet if I scream right now, you'll be able to hear me because I'm probably close to you. Answer, now. Dom says, you won't. No. Mackenzie says, you are mean. I don't know why I put up with you doing this every 4 days. You act bipolar as F. I'm not leaving till I find you. F you. I swear you act more childish than me. You're the most childish person I know. Dom says, no, I went and grabbed the whip. I'm sorry. Mackenzie says, so you left me here walking. Fuck you. I hate you. You are a liar. You fucking left me out here. Fuck you. I told you I'm cold and my socks are wet. Dom says, I didn't know you were walking. Mackenzie says, I told you I was. F you. You effing D. You really left me out here walking. When I told you I'm cold and my socks are wet, you effing left me. I swear, everyone in my life just treats me like shit. It's always the people you love the most that fuck you over the hardest. And then you just don't care at all. You never cared. Like one of you ever told me about you never tell me anything you do. It's always me telling you what I do. You're such an effing liar. I can't even type. My hands are so effing cold. I was looking for you, and then you just effing go home and get your stupid ass car. Now I have to do the walk of shame all the way back to your house because you're a D. Dom says, go back to my house. I didn't know you'd leave. Mackenzie says, I'm going back now, you effing asshole. You better effing come back before we have a serious issue. We already have a serious issue, actually. And the issue has nothing to do with me because I'm nothing but nice to you. I'm so sick of getting treated like shit. You can't pick and choose when you want to be nice to me and love me. It's either all the time or never. I do so much shit for you and I get shit like this in return. You know you took your anger out of me today for what? I heard you being nice to Angelo and them through the wall. If you don't come back in 5 minutes, we're going to have an issue. Okay, fake inward. Dom says, sorry, I can't control how I feel. Mackenzie says, maybe if you put 0.1% effort, it would help. That's better than what you're doing now. I swear to God, if you don't come back, we're going to have issues. Dom says, since you made a big deal, I don't want to come back. You should have just left me alone or went home. Mackenzie says, no, F you. I was happy and excited to hang, and then you do this. Like, why are you so mean to me? I do nothing but love you, and I just get shit on. I get shit in like every day. You leave me on red and ignore me are so mean. Like I deserve nothing but love, and I'll keep saying it till I get it. Like you don't even feel bad. I was walking all cold and soggy socks. You only care about yourself. Oh, she was a soggy sock girl. Reminds me of Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? The Soggy Bottom Boys. Let me check comments again real quick, friends. Hey, Tony 1300, good to see you. Dorothy says, Mackenzie takes the word obsession to a new level. A movie would be really good, right? Mackenzie's the kind of person that if you made a movie about her and it was fiction, the producers and editors would be like, nobody's gonna buy this. Like it's too crazy. No, you gotta tone her down. Right? Rainbow Ribbon says she's a real life Cartman. Oh my lord. Good to see you, Stacia 001. Z Raven Girl says she says everyone treats her badly, but she's the common denominator. Exactly. Exactly. Oh man. Okay, let me get back to the messages over here. Dom says, I did, but I didn't know you'd come. Mackenzie says, I told you I was. I told you I was cold. I told you my socks were all wet. And you didn't care. You just kept thinking about you. Dom says, I told you to go home because it's cold. Mackenzie says, what a great Can y'all hear me? I think I accidentally muted for a minute there. I don't know how long I was muted for. Sorry about that. Uh, let me know in the chat if you can what y'all heard last, because I read several there and I was muted. Pippadot says, you're back. Thank you, Z Raven. Oh, okay. So it was just like 5 or 10 seconds. I think I tried to adjust the microphone screen and I accidentally hit the touch button that mutes it. Okay, so Dom says, I wasn't close. I been had my car. Mackenzie says, so you lied? Dom says, you would have been in the cold longer. No, I didn't. Mackenzie says, honestly, this is effed up. Dom says, I just already had the car then. Mackenzie says, no, you didn't. When I left, your car was here. You could have got me when I was in the cold, but no, you just tell me to walk back. Dom says, I don't think it was. Mackenzie says, I do, N-word. And then I come back all crying and everyone had to see. What a great day. I swear everyone just F's me over. Like when has life did me right? Never. Dom said, yeah, that's why I can't come back. Mackenzie says, I get cheated on, lose friends, stressful family, online school, life just F's. And you're too pussy to come back and face the issue. You haven't even apologized for effing me over today. Dom says, all I did was want to be left alone for a while, but you had to make a big deal. Mackenzie says, and don't say you didn't because you did. Dom says, I did actually. Mackenzie says, it's a big deal when you take your anger out on me and when it's not my fault. No, you don't. Didn't. If you say sorry, it means nothing. Dom says, I didn't. I was keeping to myself alone. Mackenzie says, sorry will never mean anything to me. You did actually. Come back and be mature. It's never too late to start being mature. What on earth? Mackenzie's trying to lecture Dom about being mature. Okay. Oh, Stacia says you were good. Now Rainbow says I can't think that far back. Stacia says that would be so me. I probably just talk and be on mute. It happens. These sure mics are really really nice, but the one thing I don't like is there is a place where you don't see a button or anything, but if you just touch it there, it turns to mute, and the only way you know is the light turns red. Rainbow Ribbon says, if she's still like this in prison, then those other inmates are serving an additional punishment on top of their crimes. Oh my God, right? For real. I can't imagine being Mackenzie's roommate or even like on the same floor. She'd be so loud, I'm sure. Okay. Mackenzie says, or Dom says, you're not being mature either. Mackenzie says, I'm being way more mature than you. I'm always more mature than you. You can never admit you're wrong. You are so mean to me. Dom says, I'm not wrong. I'm not right. Mackenzie says, like, you know, it makes my anxiety go off. You're wrong. Dom says, you're wrong too. Mackenzie says, how? Tell me how. Dom says, because you say things not how they happened. Mackenzie says, so you didn't get mad at nothing and then tell me you're mad and then make me leave you alone for 3 hours? I hate my life so much. Like, what do I have to do for people to treat me good? I should have to even ask myself that shit. Dom says, I don't know if I'm a come home for real. Mackenzie says, if you don't, you're a pussy and immature. It will just prove my point. You can't face your issues. You just keep treating me like shit. Dom says, I guess I'm a pussy. Mackenzie says, every couple days. Okay, then I'm coming over tomorrow morning. Then we can talk because we need to talk. If you are at Carl or Kyle's, we're going to have real beef. I will trash Carl's whole house if you there. Holy shit. She threatens Carl so much. And it sounds like the only thing that she hates him for is because Dom hangs out with him. They do runs together. Dom said Carl's on the team. So yeah, they deal together and that's enough. She's at one point earlier, I think it was the previous month's text, she said she was going to have somebody jump him and rob him and beat him up and she didn't care if he died. Carl is probably lucky as hell that he wasn't in that car. Lord alive. Rainbow Ribbon says, Beeb. Yeah, it seems like Natalie was really into Mackenzie having that unhealthy attachment because she said her favorite thing to do with Mackenzie and Dom was talk to them about their relationship. That's just weird, you know? I feel like any healthy parent would have been like, you two need to separate. Oh, man. Okay. Dom says, I'm neither of those places. I am alone. Mackenzie says, where are you? W, also, I'm not forgiving you until you apologize to my face. Well, she said earlier, sorry will never mean a thing to her. So what does she even want an apology for? Dom says, for what? Mackenzie says, for what? Damn, maybe you should be out there alone right now. Gives you time to think about how wrong you do me all the time. I'm going to dip after I'm done talking to Angelo, and I took a dab. Dom says, I was just trying to be alone for a little because when you're mad, you want to be alone, and then you didn't let me. You did for a little. Mackenzie says, 3 hours is a long time. LOL. Next time something like this happens, I'll just give you space because it's not worth this fight. Dom says, this happens all the time, though. Mackenzie says, no, it doesn't. Next time it happens, I'm just going to leave the room or go home. They had a few days where this didn't go on. And yeah, Dom was just kind of gave up, let her come over whenever. The one time he wants space again, even though he was being wishy-washy about it, she loses her mind. Rainbow Ribbon says, if Carl was in that car, which thankfully wasn't, she would have gotten a harder sentence. Yeah, because of all the threats that she made to him. That's a good point, for sure. Art says, Mackenzie is very much like you need to eat, sleep, and breathe me. Yeah, yeah. Dom couldn't even get mental space, you know? Tony 1300 says, I would not want to be a person with her. Me neither. No way. Okay, Dom says, okay. Mackenzie says, and honestly, today confused me a lot. Like we were cuddling, having fun, then you left your food, then all of a sudden you were mad. Dom says, what time are you leaving? Mackenzie says, can you stop being rude? I'm about to leave right now. Can you reply to what I'm saying? Like it's rude when you reply like that. Dom says, I wasn't trying to be rude. Mackenzie says, why did you get mad today? Dom says, did you leave yet? My car has been running for so long. Mackenzie says, just come back right now. My mom on the way. I'm probably going to be gone before you're even back. LMAO. Mackenzie says, or Dom says, did you dip? Mackenzie says, yes, Dom. Like next time you get mad, I'm just going to let it, I'm just not going to let it get this bad and leave. Mad Dom is not the way to go. Happy Bab is a lot better. Are you home? Dom says, yeah. Mackenzie says, okay, good. Did you see what I did? Dom says, what was it? And then it goes to the next day. The next morning, Mackenzie says, I made your bed. Can we hang today? I've been trying to do some shit with you for like 2 days. Text back. Dom says, sorry, I ate an edible before I went to bed. Mackenzie says, it's okay, LOL. Do you want to do something fun today? Dom says, maybe in a little bit. Mackenzie says, how long is a little bit for you? I kind of want to shower and shave today. Dom says, I don't know. That's the key of a little bit. Mackenzie says, can we just chill now? Question. Dom says, let me get up and do a couple of things. My phone just started updating earlier. Mackenzie says, do you have it on automatic update? And do you think you will be done by 4? I really don't want to wait too long. Dom says, no, I think I clicked it. Mackenzie says, oh, do you not want it update or some? Question, can you not leave me on red? Like, I don't know how you just accidentally leave me on red 40 times a day. Dom said, it must just be when I put it in my pocket because I have no passcode. Mackenzie says, for real, it just stresses me out. And do you think you will be done by 4? I really don't want to wait that long. Dom says, I just got up at 1. I don't like to be chilling at day. Mackenzie says, what you mean? Dom says, I don't like to chill all day. I'd rather chill halfway through. Mackenzie says, 4 is halfway. I do not want to wait, Dom. Like every time I want to hang, you either bail or go to Angelo's and them or just ignore me till 9. And I don't like coming over at 9 at all. Can I just come with you today or something? Like my anxiety is bad as fuck. I really don't want to wait. Question. I got to stop for a minute and say this is the exact thing she was just telling him that she was not going to do anymore. She immediately goes right back into it. Let me check comments real quick. Oh, hey, Cal Tato, good to see you. Says, been in the bushes, but wanted to say hi and everyone have a blessed day. Thank you so much. Hey, Panda Butt 12, I'm glad you made it in. Art says she is exhausting. So exhausting. Damn, not Dame. Hey, Kathleen. I'm so happy you made it in. Hope you're feeling good today. We got a lot of OGs in here. Cal Tato, Kathleen, Stacia, Artist Life. So many. Pippa Dots. Yeah, she's going to resend that and then I'll get you two connected. All right. We get back in here. Dom says, I only been up for 2 hours. Mackenzie says, I don't know what that has to do with anything I just said. Like, I want to do something fun with you. I've been trying to for days. Can we just please chill at 4? Dom says, why does that have to be at 4? Mackenzie says, because 4 is soon and I'm trying to do something fun during Grib Day before it gets dark or before Ashish or someone is over at your house. Dom says, Blair needs to come over too. Mackenzie says, during the day, can you please just put me before Blair? Dom says he needs to give me something. Mackenzie says, so I can't be there when he gives you something? Like, I wanted to do something fun yesterday, but I ended up doing nothing. Like, I want today to be fun. Dom says, you're already aggravating me. Mackenzie says, how? You keep spazzing on me. Oh, and then Dom says, you keep spazzing on me for nothing. Mackenzie says, I'm not spazzing. I'm trying to hang with you early so we can actually have fun. Do you want to talk on the phone so you can hear me and know that I'm not spazzing? Be nice. I told you I have bad anxiety today, Dom. Don't say I'm spazzing when I'm not. Dom says, this is you spazzing right now. Mackenzie says, why are you so mean to me? I'm not even going to try to explain myself because you're just going to get mad, then ignore me. Why can't you just be nice? Like, I have a bad fucking anxiety today and that's how you're going to treat me? I'm just trying to hang with you. Okay, or just leave me on red. You need to stop treating me like this ASAP. This is when I feel like you just try to upset me, so I have an excuse to not hang with me. It's not fair. You can't just mess with my emotions. Dom says, I'm not. Mackenzie says, I don't know what's been up with you lately. It's making me really upset. What does she mean lately? They've been like this ever since we first started reading their texts in January. Anyway, she says, just let me come over now. And there is no effing reason to be on D&D other to make me flip out.
Dungeons and Dragons. I live in a world of cold steel.
In case we have anyone new in the chat, I just got to explain, for the longest time, myself and most people in the chat thought every time she said, why are you on D&D, that she was seeing him on like an online Dungeons and Dragons game. And we were all like, oh, that's so weird. Dom doesn't seem like a Dungeons and Dragons type. And we had one lone non-nerd in the chat who was like, Millennial, no, that's on Do Not Disturb. Oh man. Hey, Koi Kane. Awesome. Good to see you. Ophelia said, did I just get one? Oh my God. Thank you. Oh, maybe you got a membership. That'd be cool. Koi Kane says, hey, 1980 in chat. Yeah, Koi Kane has such a cool channel, y'all. Her animals are so awesome. So awesome. Hey, Joy, good to see you. She says, bet. Sue Wilcox, good to see you in here. Ms. Lindy J, welcome, welcome. Glad to see everybody getting in, getting their notifications. Awesome, awesome. Let me switch back over here now that we had our little Patton Oswalt moment. Ophelia says, this is Little Mascara from the live the other day, a few days ago. Hi, and I love. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I remember that username. Good to see you. Okay. Trying to find where she said D&D. That's where I left off. Okay. And there is no effing reason to be on D&D other than make me flip out. Like, you do this to me, then ignore me. Don't get off IMSG. I'm mad. I don't know. I can't figure out what that one would be. Dom says, I don't know what's been up with you lately. Your filter is off. Mackenzie says, just text back for a sec. What filter? I just ducking said, don't get off chat. And you do it in a way like I'm trying to get in more than one thought before you ignore me for another 10 minutes. And yeah, my filter is gone because I'm just sick of you treating me like pure shit whenever I try to hang or talk to you. If you let Blair come over before me, I'm going to be so fucking upset. Why are you still on D&D? Like, you're just trying to make me flip out. Can you just be nice to me today? Oh, we went into the 11th and I didn't notice we were on a new day. Sorry, friends. Can you just be nice to me today? Like today is the day that I need you to be nice. Dom, answer. I really can't believe you're okay with making me feel this way. I'll see you at 4. Answer. Dom says, I can't believe you just tried to stress me out so much. Mackenzie says, I'm not trying to stress you out. I'm just trying to hang like I said. Dom says, Blair hit me up once this morning. Let me do my thing. Didn't say anything about forgetting about him on the other. And you know, when I get home, I'm going to hit him up and let him slide. And it's only 4:30. Mackenzie says, let me hang when you're home. Dom says, I could have let you slide too, but you got to stress me out. Mackenzie says, Dom, WTF, just let me come over when you're home. I'm already over it. Dom says, no. Mackenzie says, you're really going to be like this? Dom says, because you don't know how to wait. Mackenzie says, Dom, whenever I wait, you bail on me. Dom says, you just keep pushing it, making me text you hella. Mackenzie says, I don't want to get bailed on. Dom says, when you could just let me chill and do my thing for a second, and then I'll do fun shit with you. Mackenzie says, okay, I will go that. Dom says, because it's harder to get shit done when I have to text and call you hella. That's why I got on D&D, you know? You don't know what I'm doing. I could be talking with a guy worth 100K. I could be reading. I could be doing a lot of things. I don't need you up my ass just to hang out. My time is worth money. I'll let you know when I have time. Mackenzie says, okay, I will leave you alone. Just promise to hang with me at a normal time. Dom says, you didn't leave me alone, though. You never do. Mackenzie says, Dom, I told you I'm having bad anxiety today. I can't control it sometimes. I'm chilled out a little now because I smoked. Are you going to let me come soon? I just took one of your sales. Dom says, what? Mackenzie says, I sold Joe weed. Dom says, LMAO bet. Mackenzie says, I didn't give him a full 8. Can we hang at 7? Question. So she's bragging about doing a weed sale and pinching the bag. Good Lord, Mackenzie. Ah. Oh, thank you so much, Mindy. Joy says, LOL, D&D, y'all are a mess. Stacia says, I'm so glad we are all around the same age, D&D. Thank you, Joking Rogue. I appreciate that. Kathleen Flick says, Panda Butt, love the name. Ophelia says, I live in a world of cold steel. Kathleen says, oh. Pippadot's not dumb. I'm not reading that. 1970. We live in a world of cold steel. And cats and flowers and true crime. Oh, man. Hey, whenever we finish this day, I'm going to show y'all 1970 has started himself a new channel. He's doing listing. And we are going to review his first video. So I can show it to y'all. Kathleen says, plenty of cats. Got to love them. Oh, yeah. We're all about the cats here. Cats and flowers. Kathleen Fleck says, she is a mess. Totally could not handle her. I agree. Oh, my God. Like, yeah. Yeah. So Dom says, after Mackenzie says, I didn't give him a full 8. Can we hang at 7? Question. Dom says, maybe. I'm driving right now. Mackenzie says, I made $25 and I gave him like 1.5. When you're home, please let me come. Dom says, maybe. Mackenzie says, please, yes. Can we chill now? Dom says, I'm still not home. Mackenzie says, or in 30? Okay, when you're home yet? What you doing right now? Dom says, I let you come in a little. Mackenzie says, yay, Bab soon. You said in a little, babe. Can I come now? Bab soon. Dom says, I'm eating dinner. Mackenzie says, can I just come now? You said in a little and it's been a little. LOL. Dom says, a little more. Mackenzie says, after you eat? I told you I didn't want to wait all day. Dom says, yeah, you can come. Mackenzie says, 1, babe, should I sell or keep this jacket? And send a picture. And it goes to the next day. That was her first text after midnight, the next day. And then it goes to the 12th. The 12th looks like it goes on for a bit. So let's take a break for just a minute. Just a minute. Mackenzie says, I scammed one of your Rainbow Ribbon says, Mackenzie's like, I scammed one of your regulars. Can I be rewarded? Right? Yeah. Koi Kane says, my ex was super clingy like Mackenzie and it drove me crazy. For real. I can't even imagine. Z Raver says, the emotional roller coasters is bonkers. Absolutely. Art is life says, cats are life. Art and cats and flowers. Those are life. Yes, he is, Joy. Totally. Okay, before we go on to the 12th, let me show y'all 1970s lifting channel. It's called Tempered Iron. Just a moment here. Whoops. Art is Life says she overmodulates my ADHD brain. Definitely. Kathleen says, Rainbow, I thought the same thing. Ruth says, my ex was a controlling SOB. I'm glad there are X's for y'all, friends. Not listings, lifting, like weightlifting, Amos Hi-Fi. Here we go.
Since the YouTube algorithm gods somehow saw fit to bring you here, I'll introduce myself. I'm Tempered Iron. I'm 49 and I've been lifting since around 2008. I had a back injury that derailed me for a while and I ended up falling off completely. In 2026, I came back to the training I love so much and my body has responded well. In the 5-month time frame from February 2026 to July, I went from 226 pounds to 184 pounds without a lot of lost muscle. So here's me before, and here's me now.
He hates that before picture. I thought he looked great. He looks awesome now too, but
I'm not where I want to be, but I'm a lot closer than I was. Body dysmorphia is real. That ruthless little voice in your head that constantly tells you that you're both too small and also too fat. This is a long game. There are no shortcuts, no, quote, one neat tricks. Nothing but discipline, commitment, and hard work.
I'm pausing a little bit because we all know 1970 is not going to copyright strike me, but YouTube's AI might decide, wait a minute, you played all of this guy's video if I don't pause and say something. You know it, Joy.
This can't be hacked or faked. Now, I'm not any kind of an expert. I'm not a coach, trainer, not a doctor, nurse, or anything like that. I'm a middle-aged guy with a career who has done a lot of trial and error over the years. What I do works, at least for me. What I did to lose over 40 pounds without losing much muscle was simple. Now, it wasn't easy, but it was simple. It started as a recomp, but I think it ended up closer to being a cut. Seeing results, as I'm sure you know, can be addictive. I ate at a 500-calorie deficit, making sure to protect protein intake. I aimed for at least a gram of protein per body weight, which is more than I think is strictly necessary, but it worked for me. I aimed for 60 to 70 grams of fat.
Thank you so much for the gems, Miss Lindy. I appreciate it.
But the rest being filled out with carbohydrates. A good rule of thumb for me was 1 gram of protein per 10 calories consumed. That kept me on track. I walked a lot more than normal. I'd say to shoot for 10K steps, but I didn't really hit that very often. More often than not, I ended up with 7,000 to 8,000 steps a day, with a few hours of yard work on the weekends. I did resistance training 4 to 5 days a week. I adjusted that based on sleep and recovery as I went along, and I did some deload weeks along the way. But I had to make it clear to my body that we need that muscle, and it isn't going to be included in my weight loss.
Joe King Rogue, here's a link. The channel is called Tempered Iron. His 1970 moderates he made just to be moderator in my chats, but the chat's always so great. Like we haven't really had a need for moderating. But yeah, I just dropped his link here. Hell yeah, Rainbow.
During this time, recovery got progressively worse, which is why I made the call to transition from a deficit to maintenance, and I'm now entering a lean build phase, starting at a 300 calorie surplus. I'll continue to build through the end of 2026, making adjustments along the way. You know, the game changes as we age. There's less room for just powering through issues. Fat accumulates differently, recovery changes quite a bit, and the joints act, well, differently. Just to name a few. If you are where I am, you know this. If you're a bit younger, it'll come. Hey, I appreciate you stopping by and watching to the end. Feel free to subscribe and follow along as I track my progress, talk about adjustments, and learn to edit videos. I'd love to read what you think in the comments. As I said, I'm no expert. I'm always open to learning more. See you soon.
That is 1970s channel. Awesome. Thank you so much, Nick Meehan. I'm sure he'll appreciate that. Yeah. Whenever he was doing that, awesome. Thank you so much, Joe King Rogue. So when he was talking about his training and everything and strength, he kept mentioning how most of the people he saw making videos were really young and how different it is for him now that he's getting close to 50 and how, the body and the joints, like he was saying, just act different. And I'm like, you should talk about that and make content, baby, because, that's the kind of thing that isn't being talked about all that much. Yep. I agree, Panda Butt, for sure. Yeah, and let's see who was saying they can't exercise. Amos Hi-Fi. I have the same problem. Like I have to be really careful about what exercises I do because with POTS, the postural ways that you have to stand or move your body for some of them isn't good. I have to do a lot of modifying to get in any kind of exercise. Yeah, Koi King. Awesome, awesome. All right, let me switch back to the messages. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you. And we're about to go to the 12th, and it looks like they kept talking through the night because the first message on the 12th is, oh, no, never mind. I was incorrect. I saw that 12:08 and I'm like, okay, first message is after midnight, but I forgot these are in military time. So that's going to be like just after noon. Koi King says, yes, I have arthritis and I'm losing what's left of my medication weight. So it's hard. It is rough whenever you've had a medical problem, for sure. Light exercise for me. I get so sick. Yeah, definitely. Hey, Cherokee girl. Good to see you. Glad to see you in here. Joy says, I'm 98 pounds and totally not fit. Yep, I'm at a point where I'm not underweight, but I've been sick so long, I haven't been doing the light exercises I needed to. I need to build a little muscle back too as I start feeling better. Okay, let's start in on the 12th messages. Mackenzie says, babe, should I sell or keep this jacket? Dom says, I like it, but I never see you wear it, so probably sell it. How are you today, babe? Wow, Dom's like engaging and, like, yeah, it seems like everything is from the night before is over. Mackenzie says, I like it too. It's just hard to wear. I'm just chilling. I had a dream that my mom had another baby again. Dom says, I feel like that can mean something. Mackenzie says, it does. Dom says, I had a dream where my cousin got shorter and fat. What on earth? Mackenzie says, LOL. Dom says, it was really funny, but I felt bad. Mackenzie says, you trying to do some shit today? Dom says, yeah, we might go to Beechwood Mall with one of my trap homies. Mackenzie says, oh my God, really? Oh my God, I've never been there. They got so much dope shit. Dom says, yeah, but you can't go. Mackenzie says, are you for real? Dom says, I'm kidding. Mackenzie says, I was about to be so mad. I was like, N-word, you just said we. Dom says, LOL. Mackenzie says, we still don't have hot water. Like we redid my whole bathroom and I just want to take a long ass shower. Dom says, what should I wear today? Mackenzie says, that's what I'm trying to figure out for me right now. I just want to FaceTime. I'm wearing black jeans, I think. Dom says, nah, not right now. Mackenzie says, wear some jeans. Want to hang soon? Babe, text back. Dom says, I was seeing if I can get my tires changed. Mackenzie says, oh, can you do it? Or is that closed too? Dom says, they getting the tires in tomorrow. Mackenzie says, oh, bet. Well, are you trying to hang out now? Should I buy these M&Ms? I think it's worth it. What? Dom says, LMAO. Mackenzie says, can I come over now, babe? Please, Bab. Dom says, not right now, babe. I need food. Mackenzie says, can I come get food with you or some shit? Are we going to go shopping today? Dom says, no. Mackenzie says, no to both. Dom says, we ain't going shopping, and no to food too. What on earth? He's pushing and pulling her back and forth again, you know? Crazy, crazy. Let me check comments again real quick. Thank you, Kathleen. I know he appreciates that. Cherokee girl in the chat. Amos Hi-Fi says, don't be nice, Dom. She'll try and make you hang out. Yeah, definitely. Like immediately she will. Rainbow Ribbon says, Cherokee, she's exactly where she needs to be. How she treated him the last 6 months of his life was vile. It really is. She like took all his time. Yeah, I've been struggling with ENT doctors too, Kathleen, over my ears. Okay, let me switch back here. Mackenzie says, oh, I thought we were going to do some fun today. Dom says, yeah, but now I'm all mad and hungry and I got to deal with that. That is kind of strange. Like he went from hot to cold in no time. But, you know, it was as soon as she started asking to hang. But Lord. Mackenzie says, okay, that's fine. After you eat, can you still try to do something fun with me today? Dom says, yeah, but don't start blowing me up or throw a fit. Mackenzie said, I told you I'm just going to leave you alone when you are mad. Just don't hit me up late as fuck. Dom says, no promises. Mackenzie says, what's up now? Is he leaving soon? Question. Dom, answer for real. Dom says, we've been balling. Mackenzie says, when he leaving? Soon? Ken asked me if I was with you, then posted a pic with Elijah. Or she says, Kate asked me if I was with you, then posted a pic with Elijah. If we go right now, we can make it to the sunset too. Dom, you could have at least just told me we can't chill tonight. And that was sent at, let's see, about 9:18. Sorry, y'all, I have to count up military time. Not that fast with mental math. Dom says, oh, I seen that. I mean, it is late, but we could probably chill for a little. I could probably even scoop and we go smoke. Mackenzie says, we can do that. Like, I understand you were bawling, but you could check in on me a little. Can you come scoop me right now? Dom says, not right now. Mackenzie says, when then? Like we both said, it's already late. Like today was annoying AF, but did I spam you? No, I just kept being annoyed to myself. It's literally about to be 10 and you're saying not right now when you just said, I mean, it is late, but we could probably chill a little. I could probably even scoop you. We go smoke. Dom says, yeah, I meant like around 10, but it's cool. Mackenzie says, what's cool? Dom says, everything. Mackenzie says, that makes no sense. I don't get why we can't hang before 10. I feel like if I wait till 10, you're just not going to hang with me. Dom says, we can maybe hang at 10. Mackenzie says, you just said we could hang out and you could probably scoop. Like, really? This is so effing annoying. I wait all day and then this shit happens. Dom said, I said we could probably hang out. What you mean? I said probably hang, probably swoop. Chill. Mackenzie says, adverb, almost certainly, as far as one knows or can tell. Almost certainly. She must have Googled the definition. Probably. Dom says, okay, well then, I'm going to go with that maybe then. Mackenzie says, WTF. You can't just take back what you already said. We just talked about this last night, Dom. Dom says, what you mean? Mackenzie says, like, we literally had a whole deep convo. Dom says, I'm cool on this right now. He's cool on that. Mackenzie says, you can't just say that. Like, I'm upset. It's not that deep. Or Dom says, it's not that deep. Mackenzie says, it is when right in the morning you say we might go to a mall, then you get all excited. We end up not going. I have to wait till past 10 to finally maybe hang out with you when I've been waiting. Like you can't just get my hopes up and say probably and then change it to maybe when you say maybe it's a no. Dom says, my day didn't go as planned either. I didn't get anything done or even have fun either. So relax. Like I said, it's not that deep. Mackenzie says, it's not that deep. If it's not that deep, then just let me come over right now. Dom says, no. Mackenzie says, I'm about to be so mad at you. Like, what are you trying to do? You tell me we can hang after I finally get a hold of you at 9. Then you just say no. Like, this stresses me out. Do not do this shit to me. Like, my heart is racing. Dom says, Kenzie, it's not that deep. Look, just chill. Maybe we can chill in a little. Oh, there he goes placating her again. Mackenzie says, Dom, I'm not going to wait. And then you're probably just going to tell me no. Like, I do not like that feeling. And who knows what a little is in your mind? It's always a different time. Dom says, if I knew the exact time of a little, then I would say a little. But yeah, I'm getting tired anyway. Mackenzie says, so are we hanging? Yes or no soon? Dom says, no. I'll let you know if I end up wanting to. Mackenzie says, thanks for getting my hopes up and then telling me no. Dom says, I told you no, so then I can say yes if I want to. Mackenzie says, can you call me? Now that you just hung up on me, I'm deaf coming to smoke that wood. I don't know why you think this is funny. It's not at all. Laughing at doing someone so wrong is effed up. If you don't let me come, I'm going to be pissed. Are you trying to make me upset today or something? Dom says, no, there really isn't that much though. Mackenzie says, what isn't there much of? OMFG, like, why do you tell me I can effing come, then you just do this? Like, it makes me so mad. Answer right now. You're being such a D for no reason. Like, did that convo mean nothing? Dom says, I said that because you weren't saying anything, being awkward on the phone. Mackenzie says, you don't tell me I can effing come. Like, what's wrong with you? Then you just hang up on me. I'm coming. Dom says, no. Mackenzie says, yes. Dom says, why you do this? Mackenzie says, why you do yid? Dom says, I'll dip my N-word right now. Mackenzie says, you F me over 30 times a week. I get my hopes up and then tell me no. You ditch me. Like, how hard is it? I let you ignore me all day and then I get this. It's like you don't even care. You can hurt me so easily. It's not fair. Dom says, it's not that deep. Mackenzie says, it is now. If you F me over, we're going to have issues and I'm coming over early tomorrow. You can't get away with doing this. Dom says, it's not. Mackenzie says, Dom, I'm not even joking right now. If you don't let me come, we're going to have an issue. You can just make me cry and sit there and continue to be rude AF. Dom, I swear to God, you are so effing mean. Like, why don't you listen to anything I effing say? Next time I try to have an important convo with you, I'm going to make sure you listen. So you are still going to F me over? Answer. Dom says, I don't like when you say that. I'm not fucking you over. Mackenzie says, yes, you are. I don't like when you do this to me. See, if you didn't do this, I wouldn't say you are effing me over. Let me effing come. You effing asked me if I wanted to. You made me wait all day, then do this. Like, why? Like, this is why I don't like to wait anymore, because you always say some shit like this. And it makes me have so much anxiety and you don't even care. How many times do I have to tell you this hurts and gives me anxiety for you to listen? Let me come. Are you just not going to answer? If you're smoking that wood without me, I'm going to be so mad. This is some fake ass shit. Really? I know you didn't leave me on red. Dom says, no, we chill another day. I didn't send it by accident. Mackenzie says, wow, keep showing your true colors, Dom. Keep showing me how easy it is for you to treat me like shit. I'm effing sick of it. Dom says, it's not that deep. Mackenzie says, stop effing saying that. Dom says, because it isn't. Mackenzie says, I didn't care the first or the second. Why would you think I would care the third? You treat me like effing shit. You get my hopes up and F me over. I'm about to pull up on you right now. Dom says, why? I left. Mackenzie says, you're lying. Smile. It's funny. Like, when you treated me like shit, I'm just going to do the same to you so you know how I feel. So if me coming makes you upset, then I'm just going to come. Dom says, I left though. Mackenzie says, you're lying though. Dom says, I'm not. Mackenzie says, like, when are you going to learn? I mean, it's late, but we could probably chill for a little. I could probably even swoop and we go smoke. She copied his text in 3 and sent it back to him 3 times. She says, then you just go do it with Bernie. You're literally so disrespectful. Dom says, why are you calling me? Mackenzie says, oh, if you go on D&D.
Dungeons and Dragons. I live in a world of cold steel.
Thank you, Patton Oswalt. Let me check the comments real quick before we go back. Trying to scroll up a bit because I've been reading for a while. Panda Butt says, like, I can see her sitting there turning the light on and off, right? Oh my God. Joy loves True Blood. There's some different conversations going on in the chat. Everybody always has fun in my chat. I love that. Cherokee Girl says, did she have any boyfriends before Dom? I'm honestly pretty curious about that too. The only thing I've heard them mention about her being with other dudes is the dude that paid her to do stuff to her feet while her and Dom were on a break. And Dom talks about her prostituting. I don't know if that was the only incident or not. I couldn't figure that out. Someone told me, I can't remember now offhand. Anyway, Ruth Carroll says, ignore, smoke, screw, repeat. Exactly. Kathleen says, my grandson would not take her crap. My daughter would have issues with a girl like that. No way she would sit around like that long. For real, no one with self-respect would. And Mackenzie's, her only response, the only thing she can seem to think of to respond to that is to try and force him into her way. Instead of just realizing, I need to move on from this, It's crazy. I agree, Miss Hi-Fi. I love this chat. We're all about it. Oh, buying DVDs. Let's see. Amos Hi-Fi says, spoiler alert, he's not going to want to hang out. Exactly. Cherokee Girl says, of all the things I've lost, I miss my marbles the most. Oh, man. Amos Hi-Fi says, I love other content creators, but this chat is my absolute fave. Yeah, the chat is really what makes it awesome here. You guys are great. Panda Butt says, she doesn't like to be ignored. No, definitely not. Oh, man. Let's see. I'm scrolling. Irreverent Elizabeth says, I'm surprised she's not offering sexual favors to spend time with him. I get the feeling it doesn't work. Oh, man. Miss Lindy says, 1980, have you watched the show about his wife, Oswald? No, I haven't. I'm scared now. I hope he didn't do anything bad to her. The celebrities are so crazy right now. It's a scary thing to be a fan of anyone. It's like, whoa, man, what's going to come out? Oh, okay. Let me switch back to here. Okay, Mackenzie said, if you go on D&D, I'm going to be at your house in 3 seconds because you're being a D and you treat me like shit, like it is fun. Dom says, I'm left though. Mackenzie says, do you have fun doing this to me? Dom says, no. Mackenzie says, I know you're making a play right now and I'm coming over after you do that. Then why do you do it whenever you feel like it? Dom says, no. Mackenzie says, yes, smile. I am. And if not, I'm coming over early tomorrow and we're going to do something fun without you being mean and without you telling me 49 reasons why we can't go to any of the 5 places I asked to go. You owe me an apology for today for real. I'll take it in person. Dom says, I have to get new tires tomorrow. Mackenzie says, looks like I'm coming with you. And Dom says, and if I don't want to chill, I don't chill. You shouldn't complain. Mackenzie says, we chilling. Well, when you tell me 3 different times today that we could hang and then you F me over, I'm going to complain. You need to ducking apologize. I'm going to show up at your house. I'm effing coming over tomorrow and we are going to do something after you get your tires fixed. Dom says, I'm sorry we didn't chill. Mackenzie says, wow, great. How many times do I tell you that sorry will never mean anything? Why do I have to tell you to apologize? You should just know. I'm honestly so effing mad right now. You just sit there laughing, smoking. I swear, do you keep tallies? Dom says, I'm not. Mackenzie says, tallies of how many times you do me wrong a day? You deaf are, and you didn't even fix your shitty ass apology. Dom says, sure, I'll start doing that. Mackenzie says, obviously you don't mean it. There will be hella by the end of the day. Can you not leave me on effing red? I don't know how it's that hard. How many things are hard for you? Talking to me, being nice to me, keeping your word with me. What the F more do I have to do? I'm coming over. Dom says, why? Mackenzie says, I told you, if you go on D&D, I'm coming.
Dungeons and Dragons. I live in a world of cold steel.
I'm going to have to get a different clip. Oh, man. Miss Lindy says it's on HBO. I assume that's about the Patton Oswalt's wife show. I'm scared. So scared. Amos Hi-Fi says, I'm really lucky. My hubby is so laid back. He's horizontal. Exactly what I need with my ADHD. Yes, having a chill partner is one of the most awesomest things in the world. 1970 and our motto about our relationship is let's have fun and be happy. Oh, Patton Oswalt's wife died unexpectedly while researching the Golden State Killer. Oh, that's sad. I'm glad to know that, it wasn't about him treating her badly. Ruth Carroll says it took me time to plan my escape from my ex. That is a real thing, that happens. It takes time. You got to plan it. I'm glad you're away, Ruth. We're all happy for that. 1970 says, smile. Oh man. Panda Butt, especially after the files were released, that was a heavy read. I remember when you read them. I'm not sure which ones you're talking about, but thanks for watching. I appreciate that, Panda Butt. Z Raven says, or Rainbow Ribbon. Z Raven, don't forget the part where everyone is a problem but her. Yep, definitely. Thank you, Miss Lindy. I'll have to check that out. Amos Hi-Fi says, my ex, though, he's a good guy, but F me, talk about incompatible. That's such a mature thing to say, that you guys were just incompatible, but that he was a good guy. A lot of people don't have the maturity and the self-awareness to be like, you know what? That person wasn't a problem. We were just incompatible. I love that. Panda Butt says, haha, Dom rolled the dice. His explanation was ineffective. Yep. Oh, man. Okay, let me switch back here. Mackenzie said, I told you if you go on D&D, I'm coming. Dom says, I'm not. Mackenzie says, and now you are. Dom says, I'm ending it because I'm texting Scotty. Mackenzie says, you're ending what? Dom says, the calls. Mackenzie says, Kay, you need to stop treating me like shit. I could put more notes in your room if you need that. Like next time you do this, think of how I feel waiting for you to text me. I can come home. Text me, I can come all day. My heart just breaks more and more every day. I shouldn't have to sit here and cry. Not that you care anyway. Okay, friends, she put notes in his room. Reminders, I assume it sounds like, to call her or not leave her unread. Oh my lord. Dom says, I do care. I just don't know why it's that big of a deal. Mackenzie says, if you cared, I would be over right now. It's a big deal because I try so hard to hang with you. And then when I finally come over, you're either the best person in the world or you're just a D. And it makes me so mad. Like, I want more time with you. And you just give it to your homies. And I need more time than your homies. Like, you make me feel like you don't care at all because you just sit there and let me flip out when you could easily fix the issue. I did not feel good. Now I'm crying. This is just how I wanted my night to end. What a great way to end a bad day. Dom says, I don't think you should be crying for this. I'll make it up to you a diff day. Mackenzie says, I don't think you should tell me how I feel when you're the one who effed me over. You say that, but you never do. Like you couldn't even apologize to me. You can make it right to me tomorrow because this just ruined my whole entire night. And now I have no fucking dab. Oh, there it is. Every time they're in a fight, she's like, I need dabs. I need weed. And she bitches about him not apologizing to her right after she says that an apology will never, ever mean anything. Oh, man. Check comments again. Amos Hi-Fi says, I wasn't mature about it at the time, 20 plus years ago. Well, you know what? We become mature. Some people don't. And the fact that we grew into maturity, that's a good thing. Art is Life says, I love my me time too much to get back into a relationship. That is such a mature thing too, because the people who can't be without a relationship are so vulnerable to bad ones because they're not enjoying their me time. That is a great thing, Art is Life. Happy for you there. Kathleen Flex says, now I'm happy I'm single. Good for you. More of that. Being single is always going to be better than being in a bad relationship. Like nobody wants to be in a Dom and Mackenzie, my lord. Oh, thank you so much, Koi Kane. I appreciate it. Koi Kane has sent 2 gems 2 different times. I missed the first one. Amos Hi-Fi says, I have to admit, if I split with my hubby, I just want to be single. I really appreciate my alone time when I get it. Well, I'm never truly alone with my dog. Yeah, if something happened in 1970, I can't imagine ever getting that lucky again. And, with such a wonderful partner, like I just doesn't seem like it'd be worth the risk of a bad one to try and find such another rare gem. Cherokee's talking to Pippadot. Yes, we all hope she feels better soon. Z Raven Girl says alone time is so important. Yes, it totally is. Cherokee Girl says, you don't need any stinking gems. You are a femme. Cherokee Girl's rhyming in the house. Okay, let me switch back to messages. Dom says, it's late. Just go to bed. Yeah, it's getting close to midnight. They're like 20 minutes till midnight. Mackenzie says, answer to what I said, and I need dabs to sleep. There she goes again. Dom says, I'll make it up to you another day. You don't have Bud, and you don't need them, but it probably helps. Mackenzie says, my bong gets me too high. That makes no sense to me how she's saying that, natural good Lord's weed, the devil's lettuce, gets her higher than dabs, which is way, way concentrated and processed. Like, I don't get it. Anyway, um, Dom says, don't tell yourself you need them. Take a little hit. Mackenzie says, then I don't get high. You can make this up to me tomorrow. You still didn't even apologize. You can come give me dabs and apologize. Dom said, I said I was sorry. And he chat speak to SRY. And Mackenzie says, SRY and sorry, with the word spelled out, is different. She says, I'm for real coming over tomorrow. I'm really upset now. And then they go into the next day just after midnight. Let me see how long the 13th goes on. Not too long. Okay, give me just a minute, friends. I'm going to get a drink, use the restroom, and then we'll come back and start reading the 13th. Yeah, same Panda Butt. Like, I don't understand how she's totally good with dabs, but thinks that Bud gets her way too high. Joy, you're crazy. That's so funny. Joe King Rogue says maybe it's what she's smoking. Yeah. I mean, there is some weed that's really, really strong these days, but I never seen weed stronger than dabs, but maybe I'm inexperienced. Who knows? Rainbow Ribbon says, Pippa, I'm freshly separated. Although it's been an adjustment, I'm getting used to it and embracing myself again. I'm good. That's good, Rainbow Ribbons. I'm glad that you're getting used to it, embracing yourself. Like, sometimes that's can end up being a good time, even if it's not, what you initially wanted. Hey, Eliza Allison, good to see you. I'm happy you made it in. I'm about to take just a little break and then I'll be right back. I'm going to put up the Be Right Back banner and y'all just go ahead and chat amongst yourselves. I'll be back here in just a second. Okay, I am back. Let me get my Be Right Back banner down. There we go. Thanks for sticking around while I stepped away for a minute, y'all. Okay, where was I? Okay, here we are, the 13th, right after midnight. Dom says, okay. Mackenzie says, then you're just going to be rude again. Dom says, I'm not. Mackenzie says, when I tell you I'm upset and you just say, okay, that's rude. I'm not going to sleep good tonight at all now. Dom says, I was about to try to sleep. Good night, babe. Mackenzie says, see you tomorrow. Do you want to FaceTime before you sleep because you're going to be on your phone? See, I took a bong hit. I do not like the high I have right now. Dom says, I'm going to Clash Royale. I haven't played that shit in a grill. Mackenzie says, you would rather do that than talk to me? Sad face. I hate happens. Or I hate today. Dom says, depends when. Mackenzie says, FaceTime me. Dom says, I'm about to just sleep though. If I get on FaceTime, I'm not going to want to get off for a bit. Mackenzie says, okay, I'll text you when I wake up tomorrow. We hanging though early. Dom says, why early? Mackenzie says, not like 12:11 early, like 1 to 4 early. I want to do your shit with you tomorrow. Dom says, no. She says, yes, that's how you're going to make it up to me. I said that like 30 times. Like, we are chilling early tomorrow because I didn't deserve what happened tonight. I sat and waited for nothing. Stop leaving me on red. Don't start again. Dom says, no. Mackenzie says, why are you so mean? Dom says, I'll let you know when we can chill. Mackenzie says, I do not deserve this. No, you're going to ditch me or hit me up at 9. And I want to hang early. Dom says, I don't like to chill with you when you try to be controlling or have attitude. Mackenzie says, then don't be mean to me and I'll be chill. It's really easy to make me happy, Dom. We chillin' before 4 tomorrow. Like, if you can't do this, it's just fucked up because if Kyle or Chris asked you to chill at 4, you would do it. It honestly makes me upset. Like, can you just put in a little effort? Sad face. See you tomorrow. Good night. Let's go to the Beechwood today. Dom says, they not even open. Mackenzie says, then how were we going to go yesterday? Then we can go spray paint somewhere. Dom says, because it was supposed to be open. Mackenzie says, Dom, oh my God, my weed seed sprouted. 4 of them did. Dom says, that's what they do. It's a seed. It sprouts. Mackenzie says, okay. Dom says, I got to go get new tires soon. I don't know how long that'll take. Mackenzie says, so I am coming with you to do that, or I'm coming after. Also, thank you for being proud of me for seed sprouting. Dom says, it's just the seed sprouting. All you have to do is put it with a wet towel. But yeah, your seeds did a good job. That's dope. Mackenzie says, thank you. So I am coming with or after? I want to hang before 4. Dom says, after. Mackenzie says, okay, when you going? Dom says, right now. Mackenzie says, okay, bet. Dom says, just seen your dad mowing the lawn. Because now it's like 1 in the afternoon. Mackenzie says, LOL, when are you going to be done? Dom. Dom says, yeah, we back now. Mackenzie says, can I come through in like 30? Dom says, the car isn't done. Let me wait till they call so I can grab it. Mackenzie says, oh, okay, I thought you meant the car was already done. Can you scoop me when it's back from getting your car fixed? Dom says, probably. Mackenzie says, okay, bet. Let me know when you're going to pick up your car. Dom says, okay. Mackenzie says, are you going soon? Dom says, I'm getting the car right now. Mackenzie says, bet, so you scoop after. Dom says, sure. Mackenzie says, want me to bring spray paint? We can do some cool shit. Yay, hype. Dom says, probably not. I don't want to get that on myself or something. Mackenzie says, it comes off your skin. Please be nice to me. I shouldn't have to beg. I'll do anything. How am I supposed to get to the park? Dom says, go with Blair, my N-word. I pulled back in, but I realized I'm just going to drive there. Mackenzie says, can you just bring me? He says, no, my bee. Mackenzie says, please be nice to me. Like, what do I have to do? I will do anything for you to be nice to me. And are we smoking there? Dom says, stop nagging. I want to self-unalive. Oh, that's rough. Mackenzie says, asking you to be nice isn't nagging. Dom says, I'm driving 40 with knee. Mackenzie says, can you not? Dom says, fuck it, brah. No belt either. Mackenzie says, stop being dumb. Dom says, nah, I'd rather die before I go crazy. Mackenzie says, if you die, I'm dying too. Well, that's creepy. Because we were just talking yesterday about how most of us feel like she probably thought that she wouldn't make it, that they would all three die, and just got lucky. So that just hit me so weird when she said, if you die, I'm dying too. Ugh. Let me check comments real quick. Tony 1300 says she sounds so desperate and needy. Yeah, for real. Rainbow Ribbons says, but a cup of sugar won't cost me 20 quid. I'm not sure what that convo is about, but y'all are having fun. I love it. Panda Butt says, I'll put some medicated butter in my coffee. Sometimes helps with body pain. Absolutely. Yeah. I have some powder that I put in my coffee that's it's like a 1-to-1 ratio of CBD and THC. And the THC is from a strain that is known to help weed. And then of course this or known to help pain. And of course the CBD is good for pain. So that works out well. Joy says, in the words of Willie the Great, roll me up smoking. Oh, man. Okay. Eliza Allison says, I've noticed the moment she backs off, Dom is nice to her. Yeah. Sometimes I get really surprised how he'll start a conversation with her and seem into it and then just switch up as soon as she starts begging to come over. Like, yeah, I mixed up my words there, Joy. Oh, man. Artist Life says, I'm too scared to try it. I'm a square chicken. Hey, that's not a bad thing. You know your limits and you respect your own boundaries. Good for you. All right, let me switch back here. Exactly, Rainbow, for sure. Okay. Yeah, Mackenzie says, if you die, I'm dying too. You're just going to leave me here and tell Blair to leave. So I'm just here. Dom says, you were supposed to go with him. Mackenzie says, he's leaving now. I feel so alone. I always just feel so alone. Dom says, run out and go with him. Mackenzie says, tell him to bring me. Dom says, then go with him. Mackenzie says, I think he's already gone. Why didn't you tell him to bring me? Are you going to do it like I'm all alone here? Dom says, he not. Mackenzie says, he not what? Where are you? We are literally here. Dom, you can't just do this shit. WTF. Can you stop driving like that? Dom says, taste me. I wonder if he meant race me. I don't know. Mackenzie says, I don't trust Blair. He drives bad. Are you going to be done with your shit soon? Mackenzie is complaining about someone else's driving. Dear Lord. Dom says, yeah, I don't have much shit to do. Mackenzie says, but then can we go? I got my new tops. My fit really cute today, babe. It closes at 7 and take about 1 hour to get there. We should go soon. She sent question marks and says, don't just say soon, then not answer for a while. Dom says, sorry, I'm dropping Javier and he wanted to smoke. Can AJ go with us to Beechwood? Mackenzie says, yeah, I said yeah yesterday. Dom says, the bud was sticky as F, so I couldn't use my phone for a grip. Mackenzie says, oh, okay, that's fine. Scoop, should I leave my hair braided or take it down? Dom says, take in knew it. Mackenzie says, okay, bet. Answer about scooping though, babe. Dom says, yeah. Oops, I went into the 14th. Oh, well, we'll just keep going. Mackenzie says, when you coming? Air Max or Jordan 1? Dom says, I don't know yet. Mackenzie says, we got to go soon. It closes at 7 and it takes me a minute to get there. Babe, you left me on red. LOL. Dom says, I know. Mackenzie says, oh, why? Don't leave me on red on purpose. If we go now, we will have 2 hours there. Dom says, I know, I got you. Mackenzie says, then what are we doing, babe? Also, should I wear Air Max or Jordan? Is AJ not ready or some? I want there to be more than 1 hour. Can we please go now? I've been ready since you said soon around 2. Like, please. Dom says, no, I had to meet my homie. Mackenzie says, what you mean? Why can't we go now? We're going to have no effing time. I've been ready for so long. I tell you, Asia can come and you still can't be done early for me. Sad face. Like, please, can we go, Dom? Like, this is giving me so much anxiety. Like, you made me think we were going at 3, but of course I was wrong. Dom says, what if I made Moz sticks? Mozzarella sticks. What on earth? So, okay, at 16:11 was when she said, of course I was wrong. So, like 4:11. They must have gotten together after that because the next text from Dom doesn't come until about 45 minutes before midnight when he says, what if I made Moz sticks? And they're all good again. Mackenzie says, bruh, all those sound good right now. Dom says, I have popcorn in my hand. You want that and Moz sticks? Or you want ice cream cake with one? Mackenzie says, ice cream and the sticks. Once again, like they're eating junk here. Dom says, I'll def eat Moz sticks or maybe popcorn later. Mackenzie says, yes, we will probably still be hungry, lol. And that's the last of the 14th. Goes to the 15th after that. The 15th doesn't look very long, so let me check comments real quick and then we'll read the 15th. Ruth Carroll says CBD is like decaf. What's the point? Most of the time I feel the same way, but for pain, like it is, it's kind of like Tylenol, honestly. Like it's not going to take away pain that the kind of people have to take opioids or anything like that for, but the kind of pain that you would take a Tylenol or something like that for, CBD can help. Ruth Carroll, the Fido Plus paste takes minutes to work. It tastes anxiety, feel it melt away. Huh, interesting. Rainbow Ribbon says, how far into the 90K messages are we? Oh, not even far because we're on May 15th, 2020, and they go through the crash through July 2022. We're on line 16,343. 16,343. Yeah. Panda Butt says less head, high, more body pain. Yeah, exactly. That's how CBD is for sure. Okay, let's read the 15th. At about 1:08 in the afternoon, Mackenzie says, hi, Bab. Dom says, hi, babe. Mackenzie says, Mar wanted to get some from you today and how you sleep. Dom says, he hit me up. Mackenzie says, okay, good. Want to see something? Dom says, what is it? Mackenzie says, Insta. I already took it off. Dom says, it looks good. Mackenzie says, I didn't even know I could do that for real. Thanks, Bob. LOL, Bob. I meant baby. You busy today? Dom says, I think so. Mackenzie says, if you get lonely when doing your sales, come get me. Text back, babe. Do you want to chill when you're done? Why are you ignoring? Dom says, I didn't. I was busy. I'll let you know if I want to chill. So that goes back to, oh, crap. Her username. I think it was Allison, something like that. I'm scrolling up, but I can't find her. She said it seems like, whenever she backs off, that's when Dom's doing his nice to her thing. Sorry, let me get a drink, friends. So yeah, it does seem like whenever she backs off, Dom starts, talking nicer to her, showing an interest in what she's saying a little more. The second she asks to hang out, it pisses him off. Like it just turns him, That's the feeling I'm getting anyway. Where was I at? Okay, there we go. Dom says, I was busy. I'll let you know if I want to chill. Mackenzie says, okay, just don't ignore me, Bab. Dom says, okay, how much do puff bars go for? Mackenzie says, depends. $10, $15. People been texting me for them too. What is a puff bar? I assume some kind of like weed vape or something. I don't know. Dom says, for one is 15. Mackenzie says, people fiends. Depends who you're selling it to. You could probably get away with doing 15 to everyone, to be honest. Dom says, okay. Mackenzie says, you getting some? Dom says, yeah. Mackenzie says, bet. Do you know the good flavors? Dom says, I don't know. Mackenzie says, I do. Dom, LMFAO. Did you see what I texted you on Insta? Dom says, let me see. Mackenzie sends some attachments. Dom says, that shit is so deep right now. Mackenzie says, did you see Mimsy swimming? LOL, we took her swimming. That shit was so funny. Dom says, yeah, that shit was funny as fuck. Mackenzie says, me and my mom wanted to take the canoes, though it. Dom says, I don't know how that'd work. Mackenzie says, it would be so fun. What did you do today, babe? It's getting close to midnight now. Dom says, busy all day. Now I'm waiting for Sheen. Mackenzie says, maybe if I'm up when you get home from skating, we can FaceTime. I love FaceTiming you before I go to bed. Dom says, okay. Mackenzie says, have fun skating, babe. Dom says, okay, babe. And that's the end of their 15th text. 16th isn't very long either, so we'll just keep it going. Let me check comments real quick. Shorty Pie says, General Motors to all my beautiful babs in chat. Good morning to my beautiful babs. Hey, Shorty Pie, good to have you in here. Rainbow says, Shorty Pie, bet. Instability. Yeah, that's what she said instead of Instagram one time. She's like, check instability. Oh, man. Okay, let's see what they say on the, whoops, I knocked my coffee cup over. See what they say on the 16th. Mackenzie texts him at 11:25 in the morning. It says, text me when you up, babe. I want to hang early. It's nice today. At 12:32, Dom says, I just woke up. Mackenzie says, good morning. Do you want to hang early today? I'll hoop with you today if you want to hoop. Dom says, I don't know. My stomach hurts and I just got up. Mackenzie says, did you eat some shit before you go to bed? Dom says, yeah, donut. It wasn't a good idea. Mackenzie says, damn, just go shit or something. LOL, probably will help. Good Lord. She says, I want to hang early today because I'm miss my bab. Dom says, I did. It still hurt. Let me run a bag, shower, and maybe we could chill a little. Mackenzie says, okay, bet. Can I just come over when you're showering? Dom says, if I want to chill. Mackenzie says, my dad just came home with a motorcycle. You said we could probably chill tomorrow. It's kind of hard to picture Steve Sherrill on a motorcycle, friends. Dom said, that's dope. Did he just buy it? Mackenzie says, yeah, it's a BMW. I'm going to go ride in a sec. Dom says, that's wild. Mackenzie says, I really want to hang. Dom says, I'll let you know. Mackenzie says, hang with me when I'm home. Dom says, I'm talking to big homie. Mackenzie says, I'm home now. After that, can I come over? I wanted to hang early. Dom says, maybe. Mackenzie sends some sad faces and then says, just say yes, Dom. I want to hang. It's like 80 out. Just let me come hang. Dom, I'm trying to link soon. I think I'm leaving here soon. And then that is the last of the 16th text. I assume she must have just showed up or something because they didn't talk anymore. Joyce's General Motors OMFG. I saw that joke and now I keep making it. Ruth says, General Motors Mopar to you all. Eliza Allison, yes, you're the one whose username I was trying to think of earlier. Says, former crazy girl here. It's hard to recognize the push-pull pattern when you're constantly flooded with taking on other people's feelings. Yeah, it sounds like, I mean, I definitely believe that Mackenzie had mental health problems that needed treatment, and her relationship with Dom exacerbated them. And I think Dom did too. So that makes total sense, actually. And it really doesn't help that the person that she would talk to it about was her mom, and her mom would just feed her delusion by saying things like, oh, Mackenzie, I read that conversation. The only thing you need to work on is your compassion. And my favorite thing to do with Mackenzie and Dom was to talk to them about their relationship. Like, a healthy approach to that as a parent, I think, would have been to say, y'all need to wait from each other. This isn't healthy. Rainbow Ribbon says, Joy, I love that we're making Brucey remember that she is now Bruce and not Ruth. Yeah, there was a typo in the chat one day, and someone was trying to talk to Ruth and called her Bruce by mistake. So now they all call her Bruce. Amos Hi-Fi says, WTAF, Steve, there is no way my hubby would let me ride his bike, let alone Kinsey Shirillo ride his bike. Yeah, I assume maybe she was just on the back behind him because I can't see Mackenzie knowing how to work a clutch. She doesn't seem like someone who's going to know how to, shift gears and stuff. Although this is 2020, does BMW make automatic bikes? I can't remember. Let me Google real quick. We got angry and typing incoming, friends. Yes, BMW offers motorcycles using automated shift assistant technology. When did they start that? Sorry, let me Google that question. When did Oh, no, they didn't start doing that until May 2024. So it would have had to have been a manual shift bike. And I just can't picture Mackenzie knowing how to manual shift anything. Yeah, it's a really new thing. It's hard to even I used to ride a motorcycle. Let's see, I had a Yamaha V-Star 750. I couldn't think of the V-Star for a minute. And I've had a Yamaha Virago. I think it was a 595. It was smaller than the V-Star because that V-Star was really heavy. And then Harley started making, Harley Davidson made I think they called it, the Harley Super Low is what they called it. And they're really well balanced and low to the ground, where for people like me who don't have a lot of upper body strength, they're easy to pick up if you tip it over. And so yeah, if you are a person who's rode bikes, it's weird to even think of an automatic bike. Oh, nice, Ruth. Ruth says she still has a muscle car. I have a little sports car too. It's a little two-seater. We got it for real cheap because it's a 2003, but it's a manual shift too. I enjoy the hell out of it. It's a convertible too, but the top is broken right now. We got to get it fixed because the tornado dumped a tree on it. Art is Life says Mackenzie's parents definitely done her no justice. They 100 could have helped, but instead they enabled her, and they still do for sure. Aggressive ASMR intensifies. Yeah, my aggressive typing. All right, let me switch back over to the messages. We're on the 17th, and 17th doesn't go for very long either. Okay, so 11:17 in the morning on the 17th, Mackenzie says, "Morning, babe. I just moved 2 seeds to a big pot. I don't know if I did it right." Dom says, "Only put it in a little bit of soil." Mackenzie says, "Oh no, I didn't do that, lol. And wanna chill?" Dom says, "I told you that 3 times. It's not going to grow if you have too much soil. You need like an inch of soil." Mackenzie says, "Okay, I'll fix it when I'm home. But want to hang soon? I'm a pass your..." Sorry, I hiccuped, friends. She says, "I'm a pass your house soon. Look outside and you will see me on a motorcycle." Is she texting him from the back of the bike? What the hell? It sounds like it to me. What on earth? Okay, that's not safe. Dom says, "We can hang in a little. And did you already pass?" Mackenzie says, "Yes, I looked really cute, babe. I got all my clothes back from Megan. Is a coffee mug small enough?" Dom says, "That's dope. I'll send you a vid. It's not like the dudes and experts. You just can't have it deep in soil." Mackenzie says, "I have it in a Tupperware. I'm going to put it in mugs when the sprout is bigger. Let me know when I come over. I'm dressed already. LOL. Can I come hang now?" "Baby, you said in a little." Dom says, "I was helping my dad. My hands are all dirty. I don't like when you push me. This is what I was talking about. If I say no at 4, that don't mean 4:30. Mackenzie says, "I'm not pushing you. I'm just asking. You don't have to get mad." Dom says, "Well, stay STY. I'm trying to weigh up stuff so I can get stuff done all at once, but my dad keeps making me help him with the drain. Mackenzie, oh, good Lord. She says, oh, that's gay AF. Good Lord. I hate it when they do that. Dom says, it's like 6 people need me all at the same time. Mackenzie says, maybe I didn't know you were doing that. Dom says, all for important shit. Besides, you just want to hang. So let me do the important shit. Mackenzie says, you didn't have to say besides you. Just don't make me wait all day. Hang with me in a little, like you said this morning. Dom says, you are the only one that wants to hang besides Kyle, and I have 10 notifications. So I'm not trying to even take the time out of my day to text you. Understand? Mackenzie says, yeah, but I thought I was going to come over early and do all your shit with you. It's fine. It just frustrates me when you tell me we can hang soon or in a little, then you don't answer for a while and then make me wait longer. I swear to God, my house makes me want to punch the fuck out or something. I try to go outside and my sister is out there and wants a whole entire backyard to herself. Like, what the fuck? Then when I finally go out there, there's just effing bugs surrounding the one chair I decide to sit on. Dom says, try having 5 people hit you up every 2 minutes. Hard to keep track of everything. That's why I get really mad when you text me hella, and that's also why I'm not reading that paragraph right now. Mackenzie says, thanks. Dom says, 7 in 2 minutes. Mackenzie says, just hang with me soon and be nice, or just bring me on the runs. That would be fun too. Dom says, no. Mackenzie says, you can't just hang with me soon now? This is what frustrates me. Dom says, no, I'm not taking you with. Mackenzie says, oh, can you get done fast? Then what if we could go kayaking or some shit? I found hella abandoned places, by the way. For real, be done fast though. If you want, Dom says, if you want, go to my house. Mackenzie says, I will soon. Dom says, okay. Mackenzie says, I'm coming over in 5. On my way. I'm there. Dom says, I'm outside. Mackenzie says, can we go back? And that's the end of the 17th. The 18th looks like it goes on quite a while. Oh, wow. 18th goes on forever. Okay, I'll read the 18th and then that'll be the last. Get back to the beginning of it. There we are. And check comments. Belle Solon, I made a live. Hey, Belle, good to see you. Glad to have you in. Kathleen says, girl, make some plans with friends. He is telling you to move on. I want to scream this at her. Oh, for real? Yeah. Joy says, so many churches to break into and steal a globe. Yeah, that's a point I meant to make is whenever they're talking about abandoned places are private property still. You know, just because someone is not using a building right now doesn't mean they're not maybe still doing something with the land and they don't want anybody on there. Like all they're doing is breaking and entering private property. And in the case of that church where it was videoed, destroying some of it. They destroyed a lot of things with Dom taking that baseball bat to the door and things. Amos says, for fuck's sake, Kinsey looking cute on the back of a bike. Steve is so irresponsible. One thing I've learned from my hubby is buy your proper bike clothing. Oh, yeah, I used to leather it up. Arta's Life says, wouldn't it be great if we could sue tornadoes for damages? For real. We had 3 tornadoes come through. Or no, was it 2? 2 or 3? I can't remember. But it was not just one, like multiple in one night within an hour of each other in the dang dark. And then the first one knocked out all the power. So yeah, it was just crazy. Crazy, crazy. Ruth Carroll says he wants her to be the one to break up. He does because she keeps threatening to go to the police every time he tries to break up with her. She's going to turn him in for all their illegal stuff. And I'm sure he thinks that if he could actually get her to want to leave him, that would be his only way out. So yeah, good point, Ruth. All right, just a second here. Okay, so on the 18th, Mackenzie texts him at 11:08 in the morning. And she says, Dom, I'm a flip out. I'm about to freak the fuck out. On my way. I'm coming over. If you don't talk this shit out with me. Dom says, I'm leaving. Fuck you. Fuck you. Mackenzie says, fuck you. You were with Maddie. All you have to do is talk this shit out with me. And you would rather hide info from me than tell me the truth. Dom says, you didn't go to my house, right? Mackenzie says, want to tell me who Joshph on your phone is? Want to tell me right now? Dom says, Joseph, did you go there? Because I dipped and I have to pee. Hello? I guess I just won't come home. If you at my house, we not cool anymore. What? Mackenzie says, LOL, I was never even there. We need to talk. I know a lot more about this than you think, baby. I told you I will always find out, so never hide things from me that you know I'll be mad at. Dom says, it don't matter if you're going to let dumb shit bother you. I don't care. Mackenzie says, I know a lot more than you think. A lot. Dom says, tell me then, N-word. The way they throw around the N-word and gay as a slur and everything just drives me nuts. Anyway, Mackenzie says, me and Maddie cool again, by the way. Like, it's really upsetting that just when I think things are going to be good for a while with us, you got to do some shady ass shit. Like, stop being fucking shady. Why couldn't you just tell me you were with AJ, Carl, Josh, and Maddie? Like, is that hard? Like, why the fuck would I care? Maybe if you told me, I wouldn't be ready to beat the fuck out of someone right now. But no, you have to lie about little things. Dom says, yeah, I don't care. Mackenzie says, you don't? Dom says, yes. Mackenzie says, I knew you didn't change. You such a liar. Next time you tell me you're going to do something, I'm done believing you. You break my heart like every day. If you don't care when I'm upset because of something you did purposefully, then I don't know what I'm going to do. You are the only person who treats me like this. I do not effing like it. If you don't listen, we're going to have issues. Stop acting like you're 13, you're 18. Grow the F up. We are going to talk today. Dom says, no, because I didn't do anything. Mackenzie says, yes, you did. You lied and have Maddie in your phone as Joseph. You're an effing liar, Dom. Stop hiding things from me. I do not like you being shady at all. And if you don't take the time to talk with me today, I'm going to freak out, by the way. Dom says, yeah, I don't care anymore. Mackenzie says, it's funny how every time I catch you lying, you just shut down. Dom says, I shouldn't have to lie. Mackenzie says, LMAO, I'm for real about to screenshot and post that. Dom says, what you mean? Mackenzie says, that's the most R-worded reply I've got in my whole life. I might make it my lock screen. Dom goes, for show. Mackenzie says, like you lie and hide shit like it's a normal thing. That's your thing and it's not my fault. If you told me before that Maddie was going to be there, you could have told me, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Do you make shit up in your head? Dom says, make what up? Mackenzie says, like, I trust Maddie way more than you at this point. She told me everything. Like, you could have easily done that too. I know Joseph on your phone is Maddie. Like, that has to be the most shady thing you have ever done. If you don't answer the phone, I'm coming over. Dom says, I was grabbing food. Mackenzie says, nope. Dom says, nope, what? Mackenzie says, where are you? Dom says, what you mean? Mackenzie says, where are you? We not breaking up. Dom says, I left. Mackenzie says, where are you? We're going to talk. And if you don't tell me where you are, we're going to have issues. It's almost like you treat me like this so I can mad and end shit with you. Answer right now, Dom, I swear to God. Oh, Mackenzie's having a little bit of self-awareness there. Ruth Carroll just said a minute ago he wants her to break up with him. Mackenzie just said, it's almost like you treat me like this so I can mad and end shit with you. Ruth knew what was up. And she says, answer right now, Dom, I swear to God. Dom says, I'm driving. Mackenzie says, when are you going to be home? Dom says, I don't know. Mackenzie says, we talk, then I leave. I'm done with the lying, Dom. This shit is not cool. This is never happening again. Dom says, I don't even be lying. I told you not to go to my house. Mackenzie says, you hiding shit. I'm not there. The fuck? You done hiding shit. I want to know it all. Dom says, yes, you are. Mackenzie says, I'm not on my mom. Dom says, what? Mackenzie says, you have my location, Dom. Dom says, why were you saying you were there? Where are you then? Mackenzie says, because when you're home, we're going to talk. Dom says, I don't have your location. Mackenzie says, you can't say nothing. Yes, you do. Dom says, how? Mackenzie says, I don't know. I sent it to you that one day my mom was trying to take me away. We are going to talk when you're home, though. You can't say no. What does she mean by that? When my mom was trying to take me away? Did Natalie show a little spirit and try to take Mackenzie's away from Dom somewhere? Yeah. Hey, Kung Fu Panda. Good to see you in here. Ruth Carroll says, my cousin and I used to sneak into a little country church and play Beatles songs on the organ. We were 13. That's quite a bit more innocent than what they were up to. Shorty Pie says, she was blackmailing Dom. What a bee. Oh, yeah, definitely. Artist Life says, damn, that would absolutely terrify me. Yeah, the way she talks is just like, what on earth? Pip Dot says, hey, two pandas. Rainbow says, Bruce, you didn't use the pipes as bong, so it was wholesome, not criminal. Exactly. Okay, let me switch back here. Dom says, yeah, I'm saying no. Nothing to talk about. Mackenzie says, there is stuff to talk about. You didn't let me finish anything I wanted to say. You get mad and hang up on me. Dom says, no, we not talking. Sorry. Mackenzie says, yeah, we are. I don't want to have to pull up on you. Dom says, no. Mackenzie says, because that's going to cause more issues. Dom says, I'm not home anyway. Mackenzie says, I know. Where are you? Dom says, what? Mackenzie says, what do you mean, what? I know you're not home. Where are you? You can start here by not hiding stuff. Dom says, I'm at Walmart. Mackenzie says, I'm going to Dunkin'. Why are you there? Are you getting some? Dom says, because where else do I go? Mackenzie says, people have Corona at Walmart. Just go home. I'm not going to come over. Dom says, no. Mackenzie says, shake my head. Don't be childish, for real. Just don't lie to me anymore or hide anything. I don't care if you hang with Maddie with other people. Just tell me first. I trust Maddie. I know she wouldn't do some fuck shit to me. Dom says, we not talking. Mackenzie says, why do you have to be so childish? Like, take the time to talk to out. Like, take the time to talk to out. Yeah, I read that right. I think she meant take the time to talk this out. Dom says, because there's nothing to talk about. This is just annoying and stressful. Mackenzie says, it's annoying and stressful for me too, Dom. Like, I thought you were done hiding shit and lying. You know I care about you more than anything, Dom. I'd never hide anything from you or lie to you. I don't want to beef. I just don't want you to hide some shit from me. You don't have to hide anything from me, Bab. Dom says, we not talking or seeing each other today. Mackenzie says, don't be like that. Like, I want you to apologize for hiding shit, Dom. That hurt me a lot. Dom says, nah, it wasn't a big deal. I shouldn't have to hide shit. Mackenzie says, I told you that you never have to. I said, I don't care if you hang with Maddie and a group of people. It was a big deal because I didn't know. I feel like it's a big deal, and that's what matters. If it hurts me, then you should care and try to fix it. Respect me. Okay, cool. Dom says, I almost hit someone driving. Ugh. Mackenzie said, be careful driving. Just text me at red lights and when you stopped. Or you can when you're home. Just give me your full attention. Dom says, I'm not coming home. Mackenzie says, why? Dom says, because I don't want to talk. Mackenzie says, we don't have to talk right when you're home, Dom. You can get your shit done, and then when you're free, we can talk. Dom says, no. Are you at my house? Mackenzie says, Dom, I swear to God, I fucking told you 30 times I'm not at your effing house. Dom says, okay. Mackenzie says, do you not read anything I say? Like, what the fuck? I should be the one mad, but no. Like, nah, you didn't even apologize to me. F my life. Dom says, what? Mackenzie says, like, you always get to win. Like, I woke up and see that pic and I was like, what the fuck? And you could have just told me who all was there when I called you and asked, but you had to be so sus. Like, I don't get it. Like, I wish you would just told me when we were on the phone. Like, I'm honestly really upset right now. You need to appreciate me more, Dom. No more hiding things. Dom says, nah, I'm done with this stuff. Mackenzie says, what do you even mean? You're done with what? Please talk on the phone, Dom. Dom says, no. Mackenzie says, please, it won't be a long convo. Dom says, no. Mackenzie says, Dom, for real, why are you being so mean? Why do you get mad when I find shit out? Like, you can't even apologize to me. Dom says, yeah, I didn't want to wake up to that. Mackenzie says, Dom, I woke up and seen a pic of you on Maddie's Finsta. You know me, Dom. You could have just reassured me and told me who was there. Next time, you can just tell me before you hang with her again, though. I'm being chill AF, and can you be chill too? Question. Dom, please answer. Okay, I feel it. This isn't fair, and I'm always the one that gets shit on. Dom says, nah, I just don't like this BS. Mackenzie says, I don't either. You shouldn't have hid that from me. Wow, I know you on your phone. You're making this so much worse. Dom says, I'm not. Mackenzie says, yes, you acting like this is making me way worse sus too. You can at least apologize for real. Dom says, sorry. Mackenzie says, Dom, sorry, don't mean shit to me. I told you that 679 times. What a weird random number to choose. I told you that 679 times. I guess she just hit 679. Dom says, I didn't really do nothing. Mackenzie says, Dom, yes, you did. You hid something from me. That's not cool. I had to find out info from Maddie when you could have just told me. Sad face. Can we chill and you can hoop? Why are you still ignoring me? Dom says, it's raining and I just wasn't trying to deal with it. Mackenzie says, can we still hang? And you have to deal with it at some point. Today was not good. I never want to be lied to again for real. Well, not lied to. I don't want you hiding shit from me. You acting like I'm the one who fucked up. What up now? Are you going to let me come hang? Dom says, I'm doing stuff. And this is at 6:13 in the evening. Mackenzie says, are you going to be home soon? Dom says, I am home. Mackenzie says, you trying to chill? Dom says, probably not. I got to leave anyway. Mackenzie says, why do you have to leave? Dom says, to do stuff. Mackenzie says, sad face. When you done, can we chill? Questions? Dom says, I don't know. Mackenzie says, when are you going to get done and stop replying dry AF? Dom says, I don't know, and I'm not. Mackenzie says, it's getting late. How are you still doing runs? How many do you have left? Can you just call me? Dom says, I haven't been. I never left. Mackenzie says, WTF? So was that a lie or something? Dom says, yeah, I still have to leave. Mackenzie says, N-word, you said that at 6. Do you think I'm effing stupid? Dom says, yeah. Oh, God. He straight up told her, yeah, after she said him, do you think I'm stupid? Oh, my Lord. Let me check comments real quick. Shorty Pie. How long from here until she ends the 2? Almost 2 years exactly, Panda Butt. Thank you, Shorty Pie. I appreciate that. Rainbow Ribbon says she is the definition of henpecking. Yeah, absolutely. Kung Fu Panda says, pretty ironic, Little Miss Safety handing out the safe driving and texting tips. Good Lord. I thought the same thing, Kung Fu. My Lord. Z Raven Girl says, the way she badgers him. For real. Like, even if Dom didn't have mental health problems aside, like, that would make a person have mental health problems, be badgered like that constantly. Rainbow Ribbon says, everybody was Kung Fu fighting. Shorty Pie says, not Mackenzie telling anyone to be careful. That's for real. Like, yeah. Panda Butt says, the gang's all here. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Everybody here. Okay, let me switch back to the messages. Mackenzie says, where you got to do then? And did you just say, yeah, do you think I'm stupid? You make jokes at the wrong time. Don't joke when you fucked up. Where do you have to go? If you're lying, we're going to have issues. She says that all the time. We're going to have issues. But she, I don't think Dom was making a joke. He does think she's stupid. And she decided to play it off as a joke because that helps her continue this, I guess, Dom says, Javier. Mackenzie says, should I ask him? Dom says, and I was supposed to link with Martin. Mackenzie says, can I come with you to Hav? I need dabs and weed. I have money. Oh, here we go again. She always needs dabs and weeds. Dom says, no. Mackenzie says, then I can go back home. Thanks for letting me finish my sentence before you get off. In IMSG, instant messaging, I guess. Dom says, no. Mackenzie says, WTF, you're honestly making me so mad today. Like, are you kidding? Like, it's that hard? Bruh, what the fuck? Dom says, what? Mackenzie says, like, you hide shit from me. I found out, then you just shut down and treat me like shit the whole effing day. And then you say you did nothing wrong when you hid shit from me. Then you just continue to ignore. Dom says, I really didn't hide anything. Mackenzie says, Dom, you didn't tell me you were going to hang with Maddie. Then you wouldn't tell me when I asked you who all was there and who took the pic. Then you had Maddie in your phone as Joseph. That's shady as fuck. Okay, just leave me on red. The fuck? That's what you hid from me. Don't say you didn't. Who knows what else you hiding? OMG, what's wrong with you? I swear to God, if you leave me on red, there's going to be issues more than there already is. Dom says, there is no issue. Mackenzie says, N-word, you hid multiple things from me. There is a fucking issue. There's going to be one for a while. Like, how do you expect me to not be sus when I just caught you hiding 2 effing things? And you can't even effing talk it out with me or apologize sincerely. Dom says, I wasn't hiding anything. Mackenzie says, and you posted that thing on your story about no one asks you how your day's been or have you ate. When do you ever ask me any of those questions? Why is your head not letting you comprehend what you did? You hid two things from me and then lied about Joseph. Dawn says, I'm done talking to you. Mackenzie says, no, you're not. You're not allowed to just say you're done. You fucked up hella. Do you want me to never talk to you again? Dom, if you don't talk, if you don't talk to me, I'm going to come over. That's hilarious. She says, do you want me to never talk to you again? Yes, that's exactly what he wants. I'm surprised he didn't just say that. Dom says, if you come over, I'll just leave. Mackenzie says, you can't just get away with doing this to me. Admit you effing lied. Like, why do you have to lie out your effing ass? Like, you swear you probably hiding so much from me and you can't even talk to me about it. How the fuck am I supposed to trust you at all? All you care about is yourself. Dom says, because it's annoying. Mackenzie says, you're effing annoying. You hide shit and lie. Fixing this should be one of your effing priorities. You're doing nothing right now. We could be effing talking this out. Dom, if you don't let me come over and talk this shit out, I'm a done. Or no, she says, I don't know what I'm a done. And then she corrected that I'm a do. Dom says, you not coming over. We can talk it out later. Right now, let me do some shit. Mackenzie says, late when? You know I'm going to be sleepy by the time you're ready. You're probably just going to wait till you know I'm asleep and try to talk it out. Dom, I swear to God, we are talking in person. We both know you're not going to read a single thing I say if I talk over text. We are talking in person. Dom says, not tonight then. Mackenzie says, then tomorrow morning. I'm not waiting any longer. The whole day is already ruined for me. I haven't stopped shaking all day. You effed up my anxiety today so bad. I'm honestly still mad AF. And you for real better prioritize talking tomorrow morning. I want to talk tonight. Dom says, no. Mackenzie says, I'm for real so mad. Dom says, you just made me dial 911. He dialed 911? I wonder what that just stopped me in my tracks. I'm like, I wonder what he told him. Hey, Gwen, good to see you in here. Definitely seeing a pattern with you're not going to get away with this. It is crazy. Crazy, crazy. Definitely like in the movie Misery. Fluffy Stingray. Hey, good to see you in here, Fluffy Stingray. Says, part of me wonders if she'd wanted him to be injured, not to kill him, so that she would have complete control over him so he can't do anything without her. I honestly, she's so toxic and impulsive, just anything that it wouldn't surprise me. Like, nothing would surprise me. Kung Fu says, Joseph, Maddie, and Carl are my favorites right now, right? Oh, for real. Rainbow says, I have to bounce. Have a great day, everybody. Yeah. Thanks for being in as long as you could, Rainbow. Panda Butt says, maybe she thought she could make a trauma bond. Probably. Probably so. Okay. Let me get a little sip of my ginger ale and then switch back. Yeah, I just wonder what he told them. Mackenzie says, I didn't make you do anything. I'm not even with you. Dom says, if hella people weren't calling me, I wouldn't have. They just called me back. Mackenzie says, maybe if you didn't hide anything from me in the first place, we wouldn't even be having this convo. I'm so sketched out for real. Like if Joseph equals Maddie, then how many other people are different names? Dom says, maybe if you weren't so sketched out. Mackenzie says, are you going to finish the sentence? And I might need actual help with a whole different situation. Dom says, what you mean? Mackenzie says, like I posted on my story and you know Tina, like then after I blocked her, she made a new account and I blocked that too. I haven't done anything to her, even talked about her since last year, I think she says. Dom says, I don't get it. Mackenzie says, what the fuck don't you get? She's trying to fight, and I'm not trying to fight someone that's 120 pounds more than me. Dom says, I don't know, for real. Mackenzie says, and she keeps making more accounts. Thanks for the help, Dom. Dom says, she's just wasting her time. Mackenzie says, well, if I see her in person, she's going to try to fight me like she's on hella drugs for real. And if we don't talk in person tonight, we talking tomorrow morning when you're awake. Questions? Dom says, not in the morning. Mackenzie says, no, bruh, I am not waiting all day. We are talking before 4. Like I said before, you better prioritize us talking. Dom says, I'll let you know. Mackenzie says, no, it's going to be before 4. Dom says, maybe. Mackenzie says, nope, 1000% before 4. Someone made a TikTok called Strongville Streets, and you can request the people that are hoes. Then the person who runs the account will make a video with Brawla people on it. Dom says, what? Mackenzie says, someone made a TikTok account called Strongville Streets. It's people who live in Strongville and belong to the streets, and there's hella people that are hoes on it. It's funny AF. It says, is on that account. It looks like a name's redacted or something because it says, there's nothing there. But Dom says, LMAO, what they say about her. Mackenzie says, I'll send you the video attachments. I requested 2 girls. I can't wait to see the video. Dom says, none of those girls really belong to the streets, LMAO. Mackenzie says, yeah, I didn't think so. They don't really look like hoes. Dom says, besides, and... more redacted names. And another redacted name. Mackenzie says, blank on that account. Dom says, no. Mackenzie says, yes, LMAO. Dom says, whoever on that account, a hater. Mackenzie says, right, I'll never take the time out of my day to post 6+ videos just to be a D. It's funny, though. The comments are funny, too. Dom says, do they have anyone else on there? Mackenzie says, yeah, there's hella people. I don't want to save every video. I want them to post who I requested so bad. Dom says, who you request? Blank and blank. Mackenzie says, yes, LOL. Dom says, LMAO. Mackenzie says, funny how you just knew. Dom says, who else would it be? Mackenzie says, there's also boys. You know that one kid? Dom says, damn, what if I'm on there? Mackenzie says, if you are, I'm going to flip out because why would people think you a hoe, LMAO? I feel low-key bad for the people on there, though. Dom says, LMAO. Mackenzie says, I'd flip out if my face was in one of those, but I'm not a hoe, so I'm chilling. Wink. Dom said, LOL. Mackenzie says, blank in it. That one kid in your grade. Dom says, like 15, though, LMAO. Mackenzie says, I think a freshman runs that page, to be honest. It's probably Phil or some shit. LMFAO. Dom says, probably. Mackenzie says, what are you doing? Dom says, taking a shit. We're back to that. Back to Dom taking a poop. Shorty Pie says, it's weird how she goes from arguing and demanding to talking so casual. Bipolar much. It is very weird with both of them. Like they'll be talking about self-unaliving and hating their life. And then all of a sudden just, what do you want to eat? Talking about food. 1970 is mention of this page of veiled threat. I was thinking the exact same thing. Yeah, definitely. Kung Fu says, I wish one of the times she texted, I'm at your house, he texted back, but I moved. That would have been funny. Ruth Carroll says he called 911 accidentally. Oh, okay. I thought he was saying he called him on purpose. Yeah, that makes sense now. I thought he was saying he called them because she had him so upset. I was like, holy shit. Fluffy Stingray says, I feel like we're all trauma bonding through listening back to her, right? Panda Butt says, poopy meds. Yeah, I definitely think he's right there. Hang on just a minute, friends. I'm about to sneeze. Okay, I'm back. Okay, Dom says, taking a shit. Mackenzie says, you sure you don't want to talk tonight? If not tonight, tomorrow before 4. Dom says, positive, because it won't matter tomorrow. Mackenzie says, it will. What matters today matters tomorrow. Dom says, it didn't matter today either. Mackenzie says, to me, it did. If it matters to me, it should matter to you. It hurts me. You should care and try to fix it. I have a whole notes page of why I'm mad, too. I'm not going to forget. Oh my God, she made a whole notes page of why she's mad. Dom says, you really take the time to do that? Mackenzie says, yes, it calms me down. Dom says, then you should delete it after. Mackenzie says, no, because tomorrow when we talk before 4, I'm going to use it for reference. I don't want to forget anything. I don't feel good for real. I got my period way too early and I still have to take a lot of yellow pills, so I'm confused and sad. Yellow pills? What the hell? Now, I gotta say, so she made a whole notes list of all the reasons why she's mad so she wouldn't forget it. That's probably why earlier she was saying, Dom, I bet you keep tallies of everything you're mad at me about because she does that. It's projection. Holy hell. I would say she's cheating on him too since she keeps accusing him of that, but it doesn't seem like she has time. She spends all her time begging him and harassing. Okay, Dom says, but I don't do that. Mackenzie says, you don't do what? I'm confused. Dom? Dom says, I don't take notes. Mackenzie says, why does it matter if you take notes or not? My stomach hurts so bad right now. WTF. Dom, bruh, this bitch just made another account. Dom says, who? Mackenzie says, Tina, this is the third account. I have now blocked 3 of Tina's accounts. Question? Dom says, what a weirdo. I thought y'all were cool. Why does she even want to fight you? Mackenzie says, we were. Then all of a sudden, she just hated me. I have no idea. Dom says, that's weird as hell. Mackenzie says, she came at me last year. It stopped for a while. Then like 3 months ago, she started harassing me. Dom says, I was just say, hey, I don't know what I did, but maybe we could just talk about it and straight it out. Mackenzie says, like now I have to check my Insta every couple of minutes to check for her account. Dom says, I wouldn't even check. Mackenzie says, I don't know. I don't want her to follow me with those accounts. Dom said, go private. Mackenzie said, okay, I will. I tried to DM her again, but she blocked me too. So I'm going to wait till she starts stalking again. LOL. Don't forget, tomorrow before 4. That's hilarious. She says this girl is making accounts to stalk and follow her, but then she says, I tried to DM her and she blocked me. That's not someone stalking her. That's someone blocking her. Dom says, maybe. Oh, they just went over to the 19th. Let me see how long the 19th is. Oh, 19th is going to be another long day of fights. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and end here. Arta's Life says, never know, 1980s. She might be a good multitasker. Mackenzie might be cheating and texting. Right? Oh, man. Let's see. We've been going for 2 hours and 30 minutes. Let me go ahead and read a little bit of this and see how much we can get in 30 minutes. And I'll cut it off at around 3 hours. That's a good round place to cut it off. Anyway, so right after midnight, Dom says, maybe. Kenzie says, Dom, yes. Please try for me. Give it effort, babe. Before 4. I'm going to bed. Good night, babe. Dom says, good night, babe. Mackenzie says, but please try for me tomorrow. Dom says, okay, I am now going to bed. Mackenzie's at 10 minutes after noon, at 12 noon the next day says, good morning, babe. Remember before 4. Dom says, good morning, babe. I got to get shit done though. I didn't even know, but it's my dad's birthday today. Mackenzie says, I had a really bad dream last night. I don't remember it, but it was not good. You were in it. And we can hang now, and I'll leave when you got to do shit with your dad. Dom says, I always am in the bad ones. Mackenzie says, no, there's good ones too with you. Dom says, I don't know if I have to do anything with him. Mackenzie says, oh, okay. I'm out of dabs. I'm fiending. I need dabs. Dom says, okay. Mackenzie says, hang before 4 though, babe. Dom says, maybe. Mackenzie says, Dom, oh my God, you told me you would try. What the fuck? Dom says, I will. Mackenzie says, like, you should be able to talk before 4. Dom says, let's just not talk and just hang out. Mackenzie says, Dom, I can't just let what happens slide. We don't have to talk for long. We can hang. Like, I understand why you did what you did. Dom says, okay, then no hang. Mackenzie says, N-word, what you doing? WTF, 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 WTF. That's how you're going to be? That's not cool at all. I am coming over before 4 and we don't have to talk. I have questions though. Dom says, we are not talking. Mackenzie says, and you need to say sorry. Dom says, you are not questioning me. Mackenzie says, so you tricked me. For show. Fine. We don't have to talk about it, but you're going to effing apologize. And I'm not telling you for you. And I'm not telling for you for what? Yeah, I read that right. Okay. She says, and we 1,000,000% before 4. Hanging. I know you don't think so, but it's really rude to not let someone talk when they want to. Dom says, we not talking. Mackenzie says, I just said we aren't. The fuck? Like, WTF, I swear, I wait all fucking night and thinking we are, but then you trick me and tell me we can't. I'm coming over before 4. We don't have to talk. I'm for real. Dom says, we can chill. We just not going to talk. And I got to get some good I got some good ideas I want to show you. Because he says, Dom, I said, yeah, like 3 times. We don't have to talk, I guess. Ideas for what? Dom says, I'll tell you when I see you. Mackenzie says, okay, I'm ready to leave whenever. Dom says, okay, I made some shit to let me FaceTime you real quick. Mackenzie says, okay. I hope your phone died. Dom says, I wasn't smoking. Mackenzie says, why did you hang up on me? And I seen you hitting the wood. I was joking. FaceTime me back. Dom, on my way. Dom says, I'm dipping then. I was about to shower. Mackenzie says, want to apologize? Say sorry. I won't come. Dom says, nah, I don't like your attitude. Mackenzie says, you are such a D. Like IFK WTF wrong EIUT. Like I do for 4 things. You can't do SNY. You sent even effing 1. Like, this shit is whack. You're the one who effed up, not me. You the one who lied and hid shit, not me. And now you don't even let me talk. I agger. And now ER can't hang beep 4. Like, I effing can't believe this at all. Dom says, we not hanging before 4. Mackenzie says, like, you try and make me flip out. Inward. We fucking 8. IDTG. Call me right now. I'm about to text your mom. Honestly, we need to talk about a lot more shit. Dom says, nah. Mackenzie says, I'm gonna buy you some books to read. Yeah, we do. See you at 4. Now I need 2 apologies. How many more are you gonna make it? Dom says, no. Mackenzie says, yeah, stop acting 10. If you don't show effort, I don't know what I'm going to do. I knew you lied about trying for me. You never try for me, I swear. Shit fucking sucks. I have no weed or dabs. Dom says, I do, but then I stop. Mackenzie says, trying for 2 minutes isn't trying. I should just die or something. I ducking hate my life. Dom says, just stop taking it so seriously, and it's way easier. Mackenzie says, I'm not taking advice from someone who treats me bad. We hanging before 4. If no, we gonna have issues. More than issues. And how many effing times I gotta say, if it matters to me, you should care too. Dom says, nah, I'm done with this shit. Too much of a pain. Sorry, babe. Mackenzie says, F you. You so effing fake. I can't believe you. You say you try and I believe you. Then you do this. Why do I even try still? Dom says, I have good days and bad days. Yeah, just don't try. Mackenzie says, maybe you should read some books on how to treat people who love you, and your life will go a lot smoother. Stop lying and telling me you're going to try to. You're getting my hopes up way too much. Then just break me. Dom says, will do. Mackenzie says, I'm coming over at 4. Dom says, now I still haven't got in the shower, though. Mackenzie says, we need to talk for real. Well, Sheen on the way. Dom says, nah, I'd rather just run away than talk. No, I have to hit up Sheen when to come. Mackenzie says, that's not what Lexi said. Dom says, fuck you. Mackenzie says, and that's some pussy shit. Dom says, I'm done. I don't care. Mackenzie says, I'm texting your mom. Dom says, okay, you're not allowed over. Mackenzie says, I'm coming over. Dom says, no, you're not. Mackenzie says, not right now, but at 4 or 4:30. Dom says, how about this? I just want to be here with just my dad. I'm not going to have anyone over. So fuck off. Mackenzie says, I don't know if I have to do anything with him. Don't lie. Stop lying. Stop betraying me. Dom says, well, now I want to do something, so fuck off. Mackenzie says, no, we talking today. Dom says, I don't care. I'm done trying. Mackenzie says, then I'll leave. If you're done trying, that means I'm on my way to your house right now. See you soon. Dom says, Ma, if you do, we not cool. Mackenzie says, learn to effing respect me. Dom says, no, you don't respect me. Mackenzie says, I'd take 40 bullets for you, and you would still rather treat me like shit. You are mean to everyone who loves you, except your friends, that pick and choose when they want to be friends with you. Like it's unfair. I'm your biggest fan, then Vinny, and this is how I get treated. Dom says, F all them people. They can go F themselves. Mackenzie says, like I agreed to not talk, and this is what I get in return? So you not chilling with Sheen anymore? We're going to talk 100% now today. I waited all day yesterday. Dom says, no. Mackenzie says, yes, Dom, I'm not taking your shit. I'm done letting you walk all over me. I'm choosing today. Dom says, nah. Mackenzie says, not you. Yes, you say I'm bossy, then you get to decide everything. You make things so one-sided if I want to talk. Dom says, nah, we on a break. Mackenzie says, you let me effing talk. No, we not. No. WTF. F you. We are not on a break. I'm about to freak out. Dom says, yeah, it's about time. Mackenzie says, no. Dom says, yeah. Mackenzie says, we not. Okay, can we play games? Dom says, I'm getting in the shower. Mackenzie says, no, you're not. Here's what's happening and what's not. We are talking today. We are not going on a break. You're done treating me like shit, and you're going to put in more effort. See you soon, babe. Or should I say, see you now. You effing done treating me anyway, but with love and respect. We are not going on a break because you're mad that I want love and respect. I give you so much of both of those inward, like what the fuck? You've been treating me like shit for the last 2 days, and I am so done with it. If I think it's a big deal, then it's a ducking big deal. We are not going on any sort of break. If you hang with Sheen till I will let you hang with Sheen until 5. But at 5, we are hanging out. Dom says, we probably need a break. Mackenzie says, no, the F we don't. Come out. We are not going on any type of break. I'm 100% fine. You the one making this difficult for no reason. Like, why the F did you start being a D on FaceTime for no reason? You would rather go on an effing break than talk this shit out. That's so effed up and makes me want to F someone up. You say I'm bossy, I'd never get a choice. You don't even come to my effing house. Dom says, bitchy would work better. Mackenzie says, you bet your ass I'm going to be the biggest bitch in the world when I find out my BB is lying and hiding shit from me. I am done getting treated with no respect or getting no effort from you. Like you give nothing for no reason. Come out so I can go hang with Lexi. When Sheen leaves at 5, I'm coming back over too. And we going to talk. Now you don't get to say nothing. We not talking. Dom says, nah. Mackenzie says, yeah, actually we are. And if you say no, there's going to be a big surprise. Dom says, no. Mackenzie says, okay, you want the surprise right now? Question, want to guess? Question, do you want to chill with Sheen? Or do you want me to stay and not let that happen? See, this is what happens when you choose to not care about my feelings. This is what happens when you think you better than other people. Honestly, I'm mad. I can't believe you would rather go on a break than talk about shit that's bothering me. You afraid I know too much, huh? There she goes, threatening him again. She saying she knows too much. Dom says, I guess we actually done. Mackenzie says, we not. All you have to do is talk to me, then I'm leaving and hanging with Lexi. Dom says, nah, fuck y'all. Mackenzie says, y'all? I think my leg is bleeding in 3 spots, and it's stinging. Now we can talk, and then I'll leave, or you can keep acting like a baby, because if you F me over, I'm going to tell my mom what happened today. My leg is fucked up. Skin is peeling. What happened with her leg? Dom says, you shouldn't have been flinging around like a maniac. I don't know. Did she try to attack him or something? And he get pushed off? Mackenzie says, so we are talking so you can have with Dev. I swear to God, both my legs are bleeding and cut open. They are stinging. Dom says, Devin left. Mackenzie says, okay, my legs are bleeding and stinging and my head is throbbing. Like, you are heartless. All you had to do was effing talk to me, but you make everything so much worse. Dom says, I'm sorry, but you did that to yourself. Mackenzie says, I did not. Dom says, yes, you did. What happened? Mackenzie says, nope. Do you want your keys? She has his keys, I guess. Dom says, you acting crazy. I'm not dealing with it. Mackenzie says, Dom, I took a dab and hit a vape. I'm not crazy at all. I want to clean my wounds. Dom says, yes, you are. Mackenzie says, no, I'm not. Dom says, yes, you being crazy. Mackenzie says, Dom, my legs are effing stinging. Let me in. I have your keys. My legs are stinging so bad. It hurts so bad. Let me in. If you don't let me in, I swear, I am effing in pain, bruh. This all started because you hid shit from me. All of this wouldn't have happened, Dom. Dom says, where is it even bleeding? I'll let you back in if you let me leave. Mackenzie says, we are not breaking up. I'll let you leave because I don't want to see your effing face. You only care about it if it benefits you. You don't even care that both my legs are cut the duck open. Dom says, I do, but you did that to yourself. Mackenzie says, you don't. She's not arguing with him anymore about the fact that she apparently did it to herself. Mackenzie says, you don't. Let me in. We are not breaking up, and I'm getting the F out of here. Now let me the effing in. Answer. Dom says, not right this second. Mackenzie says, yes, right this second. My legs are stinging. Dom, my ride is going to be here soon. OMG. Nice to know you like to let me suffer. F you. Dom says, that was not cool. We should probably go on a break. Mackenzie says, what you did was not cool. We cannot hang for like 2 days, but we not on a break. Dom says, need at least 4. We should probably not hang out for like a month and see how that goes. Mackenzie says, N-word WTF. No, you promised we are not going on a break. That wasn't fair to me. You can see why I'm upset. I don't want to be lied to or have shit hidden from me. All you had to do was talk to me before 4. Dom says, all this just made me want to be done. Mackenzie says, hella people at the yellow pole. They hooping. I don't know if they adults or kids. Look like some kids, like some old. I don't think it's anyone you know. We just smoke there. Dom says, I don't care. Yeah, because she, after all that crazy, she just tries to act normal. Mackenzie says, remember, you're the one who started all this by lying. Dom says, you started it. Mackenzie says, no, you did by hiding things. Dom says, no, you did by making a big deal what it wasn't at all. Mackenzie says, Dom, if it's a big deal to me, then it should matter to you. Dom says, it's not a big deal. Mackenzie says, I don't want to argue about it. I don't care that you chilled with Maddie. I just wish you told me. Dom said, then I don't know why you had to do all that. Mackenzie said, all you had to do was talk to me, though. Dom says, I did. Mackenzie says, Dom, I wanted to talk in person, and you couldn't even try to talk before 4. Dom said, because I knew it was just going to be annoying as fuck. Mackenzie says, if you would have just took the time to talk, it wouldn't have been annoying. It only got annoying because you wouldn't talk to me. Dom says, yes, it would have. Mackenzie says, Dom, if something's bothering me, I want to know that you will take the time to talk to me about it. Dom says, I'm not going to do that. Mackenzie says, you can't talk to me? Dom says, yeah. Mackenzie says, that's messed up, Dom. If you want to say hi, I'm getting the pig right now. What? If you want to say hi, I'm getting the pig right. Dom says, I'm not home. Mackenzie says, I saw your car. Dom says, I left. Mackenzie says, I didn't see you leave, LOL. Dom says, I didn't see you there. I thought I seen the van at the neighbors, though. Mackenzie says, LMAO, we now have 5 pigs. What is she talking about? Do they have like guinea pigs or something? I have no idea. Looking over here in chat to see if any of you know what kind of pigs they have. Yeah, she's weird, shorty pie. Totally a stalker. Totally a stalker. Joy, oh, okay. Joy says she did have guineas. Okay. That's what she's talking about with the pigs. I'm like, I don't exactly see Mackenzie raising hogs, you know. I don't see her butchering up any bacon. Okay, Dom says, nah. Mackenzie says, why nah? Dom says, because I don't want to. Because she said after the 5 pigs, she says, maybe later if you're not doing anything, we can hang for a little and just chill. Mackenzie says, all right, whatever, LMFAO. I want to chill with you soon, though. I'm going to be out of bud and dabs in 1 to 2 days. This is still on the same day Dom has told her over and over, we're on a break. I don't want to see you for a month, you know, whatever. Dom says, not if you acting up. Mackenzie says, I'm only going to act up if you lie or hide shit from me. Dom says, nah, you was way extra acting up. Mackenzie says, because you wouldn't talk to me. It was just a really frustrating today. Dom, can I ask you something? Dom says, what? Mackenzie says, I'm having a really bad day. Like I'm bawling my eyes out right now. Like, will you talk to me for a little, please? Dom says, why are you crying? Mackenzie says, so much shit is effed right now. Dom says, just stop taking shit so seriously. Mackenzie says, so I play IMVU when I'm home. I have nothing to do. I work hard on that. Then I got hacked again. They took everything from me. This time I can't get back. Like everything is just effing me over. I'm asking if you can come get me and drive around and talk to me. Dom says, I'm in the car with Ashish. Mackenzie says, like that ACC means a lot to me, or that account means a lot to me when you're home. Dom says, what is IMVU? Mackenzie says, like I worked so hard to get everything taken. That game, I made a cute Avi. Oh, good Lord. She's talking about game profile. She says, I showed you before. It just sucks to see shit you worked so hard for get taken straight from under you and don't even know until it's done. Dom says, it's just an app, Kenzie. Mackenzie says, Dom, that's what I do when I'm here and I've no one to talk to. It's one of my favorite games and I work hard on it. It's like if you lost everything you had in Clash right now with no clue where it went. Dom says, I wouldn't care for real. I'd just restart. But I don't know, maybe make a super good password and write it down. Mackenzie says, I've been playing for years. I have 2-factor verification and a code to get into my account. I'm so sad. Like nothing works out for me. Dom says, how is it all gone though? Mackenzie says, I don't even know. I hate computer games because of this. Like I work so hard, then it's just gone. Dom says, maybe it's a sign. F computer games. Mackenzie says, but what am I going to do then? Just go on my phone all day? I can't even go outside because it hasn't been nice. Dom says, I don't know, find something. Mackenzie says, like, can we go on a drive tonight? Dom says, there would be something. Mackenzie says, I'm really sad. I like so many things for real, and it's just hard to find stuff to do or be in the mood. Like, I love painting and drawing, and like, I haven't been in the mood. I've been weird, like, shit sucks. Dom says, don't give yourself excuses. Mackenzie says, I'm not giving excuses. When my head isn't in the right place, I can't just start drawing. Can we go on a drive? Dom says, that's what an excuse is. Look, just relax. Go to bed. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Sorry about the fighting. I don't want to fight with you. Mackenzie says, I don't want to fight either. I'm just really hurt. Dom says, I was hurt too. You think I want to deal with this shit? That's why I say it doesn't matter. Drop it. Mackenzie says, okay, babe, I'm sorry for flipping. When you don't listen, it makes me feel like I don't care. Dom says, whenever someone tells me to do something, I don't do it. Do something else. Mackenzie says, I feel it. Dom says, what are you doing now? Mackenzie says, just watching YouTube. Dom says, I want some new shoes. What shoes you like? Mackenzie says, you can pull off some dope shoes. I'll look for some I like. You could get some dope Air Maxes. Dom says, like which ones? Don't try for shit I like, because what I like, just show me shit you think is dope. Mackenzie says, those pretty raw. Are you getting some shoes? And then it goes to the next day. Dom says, all of those is very expensive. That one pair is $13,000. What the hell? She sent him $13,000 shoes. Mackenzie says, you would look so good in the all white fours. Do you want me to send you different options? My tummy hurts. Good night, baby. Dom says, good night, babe. And then that's when they actually really stop texting until they wake up the next morning. Dom asks her what size shoes she wears. Well, I'm going to go ahead and stop there. We've been going for almost 3 hours. Joy says, May in Ohio would be a dream. Real Phil was 121 yesterday here in Texas. Yeah, for anyone who watches my members videos, when PJ and I come out of the Mexican restaurant the other day, it was 103 here. I'm a bit north of you, but not too far. Kung Fu says she's in a tree just past the driveway with binoculars. Oh, man. Yeah, that's a good song for Mackenzie. Hey, Ivona. Oh, man, I'm so sorry that you made it in just as we're winding down. I'm glad you're able to make it in and say hi, though. Oh, man. I don't know what you mean, Jupo. Ruth Carol Facts. Thank you, Joe King Rogue and Pippadot. Yeah, have a good day, everybody. I appreciate you all hanging out with me for a few hours. Hopefully, I'll be feeling good tomorrow, too, and we can do this again. See how far we get through there. And it looks like they're about to go into another, happy phase for a little bit. How long can that last? If experience is any indicator, probably not very long. Well, have a good day, friends, and hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks so much for hanging out with me.